gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 146 of the ItsObviousGaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
And Jacob Alka.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen, how are you doing this fine Saturday afternoon?
Quite well. I'm feeling a bit tired, a little sick.
I'm very tired.
Don't want to go to work tonight. I'd rather die.
I feel you.
That's about it for me.
Nice.
We could arrange that.
Yeah, I'm sure we could, Jacob.
Not by my hand.
I'll do it.
Hand?
I don't know.
I'll do it.
All right, how are you going to do it?
Oh, man.
I think it must just visceral.
I'll force you to play Sea of Thieves for the next couple of hours. That should do the trick.
I about killed myself.
Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm also very tired. Had to get up super early at work this morning, which sucked.
How'd that go?
Wasn't fun, but I'm here now.
You seemed like you got off at a decent hour at least.
Yeah, I got off much earlier than I thought I would.
What time did you go in?
6. Well, yeah, I kind of woke up I got like an hour of sleep last night.
Oh, that's good.
I shouldn't have gone out, but got to work and worked, and then I went to another place, work some more, and then now I'm here. So
Nice.
kind of just ready to relax for today.
Oh, I wish I could do that so
That's a
bad.
very nice Tracer shirt. I just
Yeah?
noticed.
You like it?
Yeah, I do. That's really cool. Very simplistic. Very nice.
I like the
I approve of it.
kind of the line designs of it.
Yeah. How many Overwatch shirts do you have?
I'm going to guess.
Like 4?
4.
I think I have 5.
I was going to say
Wow.
5, dang it.
And I have 2 Diva shirts of the same shirt.
Mhm.
'Cause I think you got me the same shirt that I already had.
Really?
Yeah. But
Or
I
did
don't
I get
mind
you that
because it's a
one
good
first?
shirt.
Because I almost got you. They only had Diva, Hanzo, and Soldier 76. So Diva's much cooler than those two guys. So
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the gift nonetheless.
There was this Zelda website. I forget the name of it, but they were having a blowout sale for their shirts. So I bought a Zelda shirt for $2.99. It looked it wasn't like the coolest shirt ever, but for $2.99 sure. And I forgot I ordered it, and months went by, and I finally got an email. They said my package was destroyed in shipment. So
that's a shame.
I just got a refund back. So yeah, it was a shame.
It took them months to respond.
Yeah. I don't think it was a big website at all. They probably just don't really care.
Yeah.
But pretty much every video game shirt I own is probably Zelda related. I have one Persona 5 shirt, which the design is awesome, but the shirt itself is very crappy. It's just it's one of those shirts that I know I've told you about this, but the sleeves, they don't lay down. They're
You've mentioned
pointy.
this on the
they're
podcast.
pointy. You could poke somebody's eye out with your arm if you're not too careful.
That material's very stiff.
Yeah, so
That
I'm
happened to
not a
one
big
of my
fan of
Falcon
that.
shirts that I like. It's like a red shirt. It's not the one that I always wear with the weird pattern to it, but it's just a solid red shirt. But, the sleeves, they're doing this little pointy thing, so I don't like to wear it anymore.
I don't like that at all.
It's turned into a shirt that I sleep in.
Yeah. I've tried all the tricks. I've Googled it. They say if you soak it in vinegar or something, it'll loosen up the fibers, but
Seems
nothing
like a good
works
way to
for me.
Ruin a shirt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm not going to wear it anyways, if they're pointy, so I might as well, see
Might
if
as well
anything
vinegar
works.
it up.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, I missed you. I wasn't here last week. I was working out of town in Alabama.
Okay, I was wrong. I
Yeah.
thought it was Virginia.
I'm going to Virginia
This week?
Monday. Yeah,
Okay.
on Monday. I'll be back Friday. So yeah, I was bummed that I wasn't here with you guys to
Converse.
to converse, I guess.
Have you been taking your Switch?
My Switch, yes, but
You haven't touched it.
I haven't touched it. The entire time I was in Alabama, I pretty much played NCAA the entire time.
Right,
Just
you're
playing a
thirsty.
ton of football. Yeah, I'm on my 3rd season,
Man,
so I'm just having a lot of fun playing that game. So
that's cool.
won the national title my 2nd season. Played Washington, beat the tar out of them. So the difficulty curve in that game is hilarious because I went to the national championship, won it without an issue, but I played Kentucky and Georgia Tech at the end of the regular season, and I had to come back from 2 or 3 touchdowns. The computer just decided to crank up the difficulty for no reason on these 2 unranked teams I was playing. So That's pretty much the biggest fault I found in the game so far. It's like they're like, you're winning too much, so we're just gonna throw these teams that should be no problem at you and just try and make you lose. So, but I hung in there. But yeah, that's pretty much the only game that I played when I was even in Alabama. But I played a little bit of some stuff this past week being home. But yeah, glad to be back here. So
I'm glad to have you back, man.
Yeah, man. Well, Garrett, how's your week been in terms of just life and video games? I know you've been playing a lot of one particular game.
Yes, 2 games specifically. It was my spring break this week, but I certainly didn't feel like it because I worked more than I thought I was going to be working. So no spring break for me. I start school as of today when this podcast releases. It will be the most hardcore quarter of school I'll have had so far. I have 3 classes back to back at 8 a.m., 11 a.m., and then 2 o'clock, I think. Yeah, 2. History in the morning, photography in the middle, and then a lighting class for film in the latter half of the day. And I'll probably die if I don't die from playing Sea of Thieves too much in the first place. But so that's going to be rough. So I've been prepping for that. But I did play some games. I played, like I mentioned, way too much Sea of Thieves to the point where I'm ready to never touch it again, but I have no choice. As well as Far Cry. I'm playing Far Cry specifically for video purposes for COD Connected, which I can't really talk about at all because the embargo will not have lifted by the time this podcast comes out, so I can't talk about it at all on this podcast, which really sucks. Yeah. But what I can say, I think, is that I really enjoy the game. It's cool.
You're also reviewing Sea of Thieves, correct?
I am, quote-unquote, reviewing Sea of Thieves, which is basically a life sentence to boring yourself to death.
I just wanted to make sure people knew why you had to keep playing.
Yeah. So I started playing Sea of Thieves, and it is exactly what we feared, or at least what Preston and I feared, that it is exactly what the beta is. There's 3 things to do. You can either hunt, there's 3 factions, I should say. There's the Gold Hoarders, there's the Merchant Alliance, and there's Order of Souls or something. The Gold Hoarders just send you out to find buried treasure chests. Some of them just put an X on the map. You sail to the island, dig up the treasure, sail it back, turn it in for cash. Sometimes they'll give you riddles that are like, follow this riddle, and you can figure out where the treasure... Those are kind of fun for a little while, but again, it's the same thing. You just dig up the treasure, take it back, and turn it in.
Are they challenging?
No, none of it's challenging. The Order of the Souls just has you hunt down skeleton bosses, where you go to an island where X marks the spot, all these skeletons spawn. You do the boring combat. You just hack and slash and shoot them all for 5 hours till the boss spawns. Then you kill them, pick up their skull, and take it back to your ship. Not your ship, but back to the island. Turn that in. Merchant Alliance, I hate the most. I don't know if they get
Those are the animals, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they get more interesting as you progress, but they'll essentially give you an order that says, we want 1 speckled chicken and 1 black chicken. Please go out there and capture them and bring them back. So I think, this can't be too bad. So I pick up 2 chicken traps from them, stick them on my ship. I go to an island, and it doesn't tell you where these chickens are. They just spawn wherever. Now, thankfully, I figured out islands that I visited way too many times that I kind of know where chickens will be, but it doesn't mean the chicken I need is always going to be there. So I'll spend an hour and a half just hunting down chickens to run up to them, click my mouse to catch them, and then just take them back and turn it in. So that's terribly boring. But that's the only 3 things to do in the game. And the only interesting thing that I haven't engaged with yet is that someone called the Mysterious Stranger in each pub at each outpost.
How many are there?
I don't know. Maybe like 5 or 6 outposts. And it's all the same person. I mean, they look different, but I think it's just the same quest line when you talk to whoever. But they're like...
just for convenience, basically. So you don't have to sail far away.
And they just say a riddle like, I'll have a special something for you if you get all of your somethings to 5, all of your ranks to 5. So I thought he meant just get all your ranks with all the factions to level 5, and I'm at like level 6 and 7 for each one, but he's still saying the same thing. So I don't know what he means by that. So whatever. But that's the only thing where I'm like, this may or may not be interesting. I haven't fought the Kraken yet, but I've seen it in action, and that's not very cool either. Especially once you've done it once.
What do you get for beating the Kraken?
Apparently you get loot, but I've seen it drop nothing for some people, unless they thought they beat it, when in reality it just left. I don't know. And I haven't even seen what the loot is. I've just heard in a highlight from a Twitch stream, they're like, we got some sick loot for killing the Kraken. I don't know what kind of loot you would get from killing the Kraken, because you don't really get loot in the game. You just get money. Just
be gold.
Yeah, just gold to spend on more cosmetics. And I have no desire to spend any money on cosmetics because... I was given like a full black pirate outfit starting the game. Like, well, that's cool enough for me. I would have wanted an all black outfit anyway if I was going to spend any gold on cosmetics. So I'm not going to do that. That's really the only reward you get is money to spend on cosmetics to outfit your pirate and your ship.
Are the cosmetics good?
I guess. I mean, if that's what you care about, is like I want to make my pirate and my ship look cool, but it doesn't change the gameplay at all. Like the combat stays the same, the ship stays the same.
Are there like different cosmetic swords or guns?
Yeah, it's all weapons are all cosmetic, and hats and coats and leggings and peg legs and hook hands and everything. And I mean, the game does have some great strengths, and obviously it's very beautiful. I love the art style. I like sailing the seas. I've like mastered how it feels to operate any of the ships. It's very simple, and making sharp turns and turning around real quick and anchoring at the right time and sailing with the wind. Like the ship's fun to operate, but when you're just sailing to and from the same islands over and over and over again, it gets so monotonous. And I'm very tired of it, and I'm having to review it for COG, which I'm grateful to be doing because I like getting to review any game, but it's going to take me a lifetime to hit max rank. And I feel like it's only fair to Rare to give it a final score once I've quote unquote completed the game. I don't know how long that's going to take. I might just have to do, and I hate reviews in progress too. I think they're such a waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think any review has
like given it an actual score yet.
Well, there have been some, but
what are people giving it?
Like between 6s or 7s.
I think it's a total 6 to me, personally.
The highest I saw was some website I'd never heard of, but it was like an 8. Yeah. And a bunch of like Xbox people I follow were like retweeting it a lot.
Yeah, it's a very charming game. It's very endearing in a sense. Just like I said, the art style and sailing around is cool. I love the music as well. It gets stuck in my head, but there's just not enough to do in the game. I think everyone knew that going into it, and apparently there are ex-Rare people that left before the game came out were saying that they were worried about launch, there not being enough content. I mean, Rare claims that they're going to update it over time, but I'm so tired of hearing that from developers.
That's the biggest thing that even that still concerns me is like I don't even know what they could do to update it.
I know.
Like what are they going to do? Even if they add different variety of missions, it's still got to be kind of the same thing. You're just sailing around doing stuff, and the combat is frankly ass in my opinion. It's not fun at all. There's no strategy to it. You run out of bullets so quickly. The sword combat is extremely lackluster, and from the update videos they showed before the game even came out, the in-game content are these like forts where you just have to hold off waves of skeletons. Like,
I've been through one of those, and that's exactly what it was. And there's these skeletons that are made of gold, and it takes way longer to kill them. That'd be one thing if the combat, like we said, was a lot of fun. But when I'm just shooting them over and over and over and over and over again until they finally explode, there's just nothing interesting about that.
Can you pick up ammo?
You can. There's ammo boxes laying around on your ship.
Not to ever compare this to Destiny because they're not alike. At least in Destiny, when there's nothing to do, at least shooting stuff is fun.
Yeah. I feel like the most fun part about it is just sailing your ship. I think that's enjoyable. But
it was good they nailed that at least.
Yeah, especially some of the visuals. I said, like when the sun's setting or rising on the ocean, it's gorgeous. And when the moon's reflecting off the ocean, it looks really cool. What's something else that was really bumming me out about it? We're talking about the combat. My brain's all over the place today. I have so much to do this weekend.
Going back to the Kraken, does it have like a one location, or is it kind of just travel around?
I think it only spawns when you're operating a galleon ship, which is the biggest ship in the game when you have a crew of 4, because I've not seen it either on YouTube or even in my own personal experience. It spawn next to a little ship, and I've been playing solo because I don't really have anyone to play with consistently, and playing solo is the exact same experience just without friends. Now I will say me and Preston undeniably had a good time playing together, but after a while it was just boring.
Yeah, after a while it's just you're just staring at the screen like just dazed off.
I got to a point where we just like weren't even talking anymore. We were just doing things.
It sounds like the perfect podcast game.
Yeah, that's what I got to. I got to a point while I'm playing it where I'm just listening to podcasts the entire time. Now, I will say, I think young kids, like in middle school and like maybe even early high school kids, would have a blast with this because they're just goofing off with their friends for a while. Especially, I would say like middle school kids would adore this game probably. I feel like if I were in middle school, I would love it.
This is the perfect Game Pass game.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not a $60 game in my opinion at all. I would have been like just No Man's Sky bummed if I would have spent $60 on this game.
Is it
so
$60?
yeah,
Yikes.
yeah. So if you want, that's what's cool is you can at least try it and see if it's your cup of tea. For the Game Pass, I had a voucher for a free month. So, and I've only played it 10 minutes. I just, once I started running around, I'm like you said, I'm like, I already played this.
Yeah.
I played hours of this in the beta. So I had absolutely no drive to even begin again. And I also had the problem of even the first 2 days I downloaded it, I literally couldn't play it. I couldn't join a server or whatever. It would just infinitely load, and I'd get the cinnamon beard note or whatever it was. So I just that kind of made me not want to try it either.
I will say I've been in a couple exciting PvP fights, only because the only thing exciting about them, which it was a combination of rage and excitement, because I would have a whole ship full of chests and chickens and skulls to turn in. I mean, I had a horde of stuff to turn in just to rank up. And obviously I'm only doing this because I have to review the game. And when people start shooting at me, dude, when I'm trying to just turn stuff in, it drives me insane. It makes me so mad. But there's been a couple times we're in the middle of the ocean and a ship will attack me, and I'll somehow defeat them with like cannons and jumping under their ship. Like I'll anchor mine and manage to get over there and kill them before they can sink my ship, and I'll get back and patch mine up. But a couple moments like that have been fun for sure. But it's gotten to a point now where all I want to do is rank up. And I think some other players, especially people that I can tell are closer to our age, are of the same mindset, because I've come to an island with a bunch of treasure before, and this one pirate was just hanging out there, and it was nighttime. You could see one of the top level skulls I'd gathered was just glowing out of my ship. It's a cool visual because the skull glows and my whole ship's illuminated by it. He's like, I see you got a high level skull over there. And I was like, yeah. I was like trying to play it off like it's not a big deal. And he's like, don't worry, man, I'm not gonna to kill you or try to take it or anything. He's like, I know how like effing annoying that is. I was like, yeah, it is. He's like, yeah, don't worry, dude. That's cool that you have it though. And he's like, went away. I was like, thank you. So some people are kind like that, but others just shoot you on sight just because I feel like that's really the only fun thing about it is attacking other pirates. But
is that more frequent than the beta?
I guess it depends on what kind of server you're on, because when I'm playing solo, I only encounter either other solo players or duo players. Only sloop ships I run into. So, which is odd, because I don't know if it's changed from the beta or that's just what's the word I'm looking for? What's that word? I can't think of it. I'm so brain dead.
Lugubrious.
No, yeah. I have to think of it. It's going to drive me insane. Coincidence. That's what I'm looking for. Because in the beta, I remember us running into a couple sloop ships, and we're like, look at these idiots, and we sink their little ship instantly. So I don't know if they've changed it in the full game or not, but I've only encountered other tiny little ships. So I kind of like that little tiny ship, too, sailing by myself. Even though, like I said, I'm pretty bored most of the time.
Play shanties to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll set my direction. If there's no barriers in the way, like islands I need to avoid, I'll just set my steering wheel straight and head directly where I need to go and just sit at the, I don't know if you call it the mast, that thing that sticks out from front of the ship. I'll just dance on the tip of it until I get there. So it's not all bad. I don't want people to think, especially if you're listening to this podcast for some reason for the first time, and think, well, these guys are a bunch of negative Nancy's shitting all over Sea of Thieves.
Bunch of PlayStation fanboys, I'm right.
Yeah. It's really not all that bad.
That's why the game's bad, because it was Xbox.
Right.
Microsoft funded. That's the sole reason.
I think you're onto something.
Yeah. But I've been playing it on PC. It runs spectacularly. I'm playing all in the highest settings, which it isn't a very demanding game in that sense, but it is pretty. And I have had some fun moments, but overall I'm very much over it and desperately in need of more content, which will probably not come anytime soon. One thing I found was interesting, we'll go ahead and talk about now. It was a minor news story. Sea of Thieves is supposedly adding a patch where there's a death toll, where you lose gold depending on how you die, or you lose a certain amount depending on how you die, which I think ups the ante a bit, because whenever I die and I don't have any treasure, I just don't care, because I know I'm going to instantly spawn on my ship and that be the end of it. But I like the fact that maybe now pirates will not only think twice before getting into a fight, because they could also die, but I kind of like there being higher stakes. That makes it slightly more interesting to be in a fight. I also wish, now this would be annoying to do every time, but maybe if you die a certain way, like maybe if the Kraken kills you, for example, it isn't just, oh, you spawn back in your ship. I'd like there to be some kind of a quest with Davy Jones. Like maybe you do some underworld sea, like what if there's like an open world in the underworld as well, where you had to go do some cool quest and they're just to escape. I think that'd be kind of cool.
I've always liked how World of Warcraft does their death system. It's like you have to go retrieve your body in a spirit form. I thought that would be something cool to do in this game, maybe. Just, I don't know, maybe sail like a ghost ship or something interesting like that to go retrieve your body.
I think a really cool idea would add the bounty system that's in like Grand Theft Auto Online, where if a guy's just going crazy killing pirates, maybe he might bloop up on your map and you can go kill him for a reward or something.
Amazing. Why is that not in there already?
Cool. I don't know.
This like infamous player sailing the seas, killing everyone.
He's like top pirate.
Yeah, go kill this top pirate and you get this huge reward, and then all the pirates converge and then there's this big epic battle. It'd be awesome. I feel like that's something easy they can add that would significantly make things more interesting. I wish there was more enemy variety because I've only fought skeletons the entire time. Like, why aren't there, even if there was like
it's like
NPC
we need more
pirates
enemy variety. I would like 2 types of enemies, please.
Give me something else.
Like, what if there were just other pirates, like NPC pirates to fight on an island? I know it's just another skinned enemy, but maybe they fight differently than the skeletons. I don't know.
Even if they were just like guarding a chest or something, kind of like in Zelda, where there's those little small camps of enemies around where you just kill them.
Or I mean, if they're gonna have skeletons, why not other like mythical creatures?
Yeah, like
fishmen or
I was thinking like fishmen or like lagoon men or something.
Or giant crabs.
Yeah, some big old crabs.
Mermaids or vicious mermen.
I will say I run into a billion snakes in the game. I don't know if it's a goof on their end, but I swear I see 20 snakes in every island, just hissing constantly. It's like an annoying frequency in my ear on every island.
Can they attack you?
They can poison you, but it doesn't really hurt you. It just makes you woozy for 30 seconds.
So you can't actually like kill them.
You can kill them.
So I don't know. There's another enemy.
I don't know if the Merchant Alliance wants there will be quests to capture certain snakes, because there's all kinds of different colored snakes, just like there are chickens and pigs. So I assume that's going to be a merchant quest at some point.
That's fun.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because I think this is a really cool foundation. I think that it's definitely something to play with a group of friends, especially on Game Pass. Just try it out for $10.
I also love how it's a play anywhere title too on Xbox or PC, because I've cross played with a couple of the COG guys on Xbox while I'm on PC, and I love that convenience as well.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But yeah, it is somewhat of a solid foundation. I mean, I've been intrigued by the game since its initial announcement anyway, and I wanted to play it desperately, and I'm glad I've gotten my fill of it, but now I need more. So, and I don't want it to fail. Like, just because I think it's boring doesn't mean I'm like, this sucks, I'm done. Like, so I want it to improve.
Yeah, of course. I think it's the combat that's kind of making me feel really just about it, because no matter how much content they add, if they really don't improve the combat, that's always going to irk me. Because you can go, like I said, go around and do all these missions and stuff, but if I'm not having fun in PvP or fighting enemies and stuff, that's going to significantly like make the experiment experience less fun for me personally.
How would you like to, like, personally for you, what would you like to be added to the combat or tweaked? Do you want it to be a bit deeper in a sense where
I would like there to be better weapons, be able to upgrade your ammo capacity on you. The sword fighting needs to be better. It's just very spammy. I mean, you can block and stuff, but it's just, you do that 3-hit combo, just, smashing or whatever it is on console, R trigger, the left mouse button. It's just, there's no strategy to it. There's only 3 gun types. There's the blunderbuss, the rifle, and the pistol.
Yes.
Yeah, and they're all the same. They don't get more power. They're like, there needs to be skills or
each one.
Exactly, or just
maybe there's like all these
It's
cosmetic items you're purchasing. Maybe if you hit a certain rank, you unlock one that has some kind of interesting perk or something.
Yeah, just something tied. Yeah, it's bare bones to the max. So
it's almost a little too bare bones.
Yeah.
So
bare bones and weapons, bare bones and combat. It's just like, it's crazy how bare bones it is. Like it's just confusing how they were just like, combat's fine. Like that just,
Another little goofy thing, what if they gave you more incentive to hang out at Outpost more than just turning in your bounties? What if in each pub there's like a little pirate game to play in the pub, hanging out with your buddies.
Yeah, why aren't
like
there
a tabletop game or something?
Arm wrestling or card games or just more social interaction with other random players.
Right.
Like you said, all the interaction with other players is just people trying to kill each other and steal things. There's no like friendly place where people can, there's no like robust towns where people are running around accepting quests and turning in things and playing games. And
I'm kind of shocked that there's not like a hub that there's nothing.
Well, apparently once you get to legendary rank, it unlocks a special hub that only people at that rank can get into.
Right.
But
Rare, I don't know if this is true. Rare claims that the secret legendary pirate hideout is in plain sight. You just would never realize it. And I don't know if that's a case where, like in No Man's Sky, they're like, where what's his name was like, yeah, you can do this, this, and this. It's in there, but it really wasn't. I don't know if they're just saying that, but I like that idea. If it really is like you've passed by it 100 times, you just didn't even realize it's there. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see it. I'm sure someone in the very near future will have it on YouTube, so we'll get to see it. But
has no one gotten to it yet?
Not that I know of. I'm sure someone has out there. I haven't searched for it, but I am curious at the very least. Just like I was curious to see the end of No Man's Sky, and that was just the most diabolical thing I think I've ever seen from a video game. I could not believe what I was seeing. So hopefully Sea of Thieves delivers. And maybe like they sell unique cosmetics there that only you can acquire there. Unique ship parts and stuff. Again, that's just cosmetic stuff I couldn't care less about, but at the very least have that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I imagine it like the place in the World's End or whatever it's called from Pirates 3. I can never remember. It's like at World's End. I think that's what it's called. That pirate hideout where all the pirate captains meet. That's how I imagine it. I think that'd be pretty cool. So
like a little cove or something.
I don't think I have anything else to add. One feature I think would be kind of cool. I don't know how complicated this would be on Rare's end, but let's say there's a solo player running around by himself and there happens to be a crew of 2 or 3 that can just recruit another player if they want to. Like that guy in our beta video, he was like, do you mind if I just hang out with you guys? We're like, sure, man. Yeah. And he just hung out on our ship and went on adventures with us for a little bit. And then he shot himself into the middle of the ocean. He's like, all right, see ya, and drowned himself for some reason. But it'd be cool if we're like, hey, man, we can actually recruit you. We have a spot, and we send him an invite, and he just automatically joins our crew. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I really would like a more social aspect in the Outpost versus everyone just killing each other. Because they're ultimately just like PvP zones. Like everyone shows up there and just kills each other and tries to steal each other's treasure. But I don't know. It's mostly an inconvenience where I'd like it to be just an exciting experience.
So when you see like another pirate at a outpost, do you kind of just circle the island and
wait
for them to leave?
Yeah. I typically will go to the opposite end and just kind of scope it out and grab my treasure chest and run as fast as I can to the guy and just turn it in and run back. And I've had guys shooting at me while I'm running with treasure like, oh shit!
And that's just weird. You're in a menu turning it in and somebody's like shooting at you.
Right.
Like that's just weird.
So yeah, I've had like I said, I've had some fun moments. It's just it needs a lot of content added to it, but I think that's all I have to say. Again, we're not trying to be super negative about it, but those are my bona fide thoughts. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not like we're breaking the mold here. This is pretty much the general consensus from everybody I've seen online. So.
Another thing, this is like a technical error. The last thing I'll say is, I don't know if they've patched it since I last played, but there was an issue where I would turn in my bounties and I would not get money or my rank wouldn't increase. And I was like, what in the world? Why did I just do this? And it would increase about 20 minutes later. Just gold would pop up and then my rank would increase. So it was like a 20-minute delay on my stuff like that. It's not a big deal, but
I've heard they've been having server problems. So
really?
That's probably it.
Yeah, I haven't really experienced lag or anything, but that is one thing that's been happening to me. So,
or people were like playing this the first or second day after it launched, and they weren't getting credit for anything they did.
Oh, really?
So they were like just turning in chests and getting nothing.
Yeah, I think one time I turned in a bunch of stuff and it didn't pop up for about an hour and a half, and I got off.
Maybe that was the case for these situations too. I don't know.
But when I got back on, it showed my progress. So. Just a little minor issue, but let's move on to something a little more positive, shall we?
See, I would love to talk about something positive.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Ni no Kuni 2 is awesome.
Nice.
I love it. Jacob, if I've ever played a Jacob game in my life, this is a Jacob game. Oh, yeah. Dude, you would freaking love this game.
So I wasn't planning on picking it up at all.
Super happy and whimsical and so Pixar-like, and the combat is satisfying and fun, and the characters are lighthearted and likable, and the story's really cool and interesting, and is just
He's got cat ears though.
What's that?
He's got cat ears.
It's fine. It's no big deal, dude. Yeah.
Do they get in the way during combat?
No. I believe you can. You don't even have to play as him in combat if you don't want to, anyways. But I thought I was gonna like this game, but I'm liking it. It's exceeding my expectations. Like I kind of just said to you, the combat is very satisfying. It's not the deepest thing, but there is some depth to it with your great. I've only played like 5 or 6 hours, but there are these creatures with you called Higgledies, and they can do specific things during combat. There's like little dudes that follow you around. The ones that I have can either heal you, or I have some black ones that'll put up this gravity ball that'll suck things in or drop them to the ground if they're flying. Then I have another pair of Higgledies that'll turn into a cannon and like start shooting at people. Then there are just hotkeys that you can do spells and certain sword attacks. And that's pretty much as deep as it's gotten for me so far, but just the satisfaction of the combat rolling around and just hitting people is very just the feeling and the impact of the combat is very satisfying. It's not hard. I know that's been one of the kind of gripes with the game, is that it's extremely easy. It is pretty easy for the most part, but I actually kind of like that right now. I don't have to really think too much about it. I just kind of get in there, do the combat, continue the story, just keep trucking along, not bashing my head up against a wall in terms of there's no grinding really. I haven't had the need to go out of my way to level myself up. I'm just progressing along the story right now, and I'm able to take down the bosses and everything that I come across. And I want to keep going forward because the story is very interesting. So far it's very straightforward. There's a king. His name's Evan. He's a guy with the cat ears, and his kingdom is taken over by these mouse kind. I forgot the name of the main.
The Vermintide.
Yeah, exactly.
The Meowsters.
Yeah. This big mouse king guy had a coup and took over the kingdom, and you're playing as Evan, and I want to build a kingdom with no war, just world peace. So that's kind of the deal, is you're going to make your own kingdom and have happily ever after for everybody. So do
you just give up on the kingdom you lost? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, they want you dead, you escape, and you're just recruiting countries to come to your kingdom. And I just got to, before I came over here, I played about an hour. There's like a combat style where I'm kind of above the overworld, and they're like, you know what chibi means?
No.
It's like the anime characters where they have the really big head and small bodies. Okay. It's like the style. Mm-hmm. So when you're kind of progressing from area to area, you're in that type of art style, kind of in an overworld. And when you get into combat, it goes into the combat arena and you fight them. And when you win, it zooms back out again. That's like
common. The whole game like that?
No, that's just when you're progressing you're like in the world map and stuff. But I just got to a part where I'm actually commanding some armies, and it's not like an RTS or anything. You're actually running through the open world, but I have two groups of people with me, and there's like a rock, paper, scissors element where like the swords are better against the hammers, and I'm kind of sending them out and having them attack for me and stuff. So that's kind of mixing up the combat a little bit. But like I said, I'm not too far into it, but so far I'm really, really enjoying it. It's, like I said, super fun, super upbeat, very happy. The graphics are insane, dude. It looks like a freaking studio. I always get
Studio
it wrong. Ghibli. I say Ghibli sometimes.
Is it Ghibli or Ghibli?
I think it's Ghibli.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure.
But yeah, it looks, I know they don't have a direct affiliation with this game, but it looks just like one of their games, just freaking gorgeous. Really like the characters. English voice acting is really, really good. Even Evan with him, that was my impression of him, which I think is pretty spot on. He's super likable.
I want to build a kingdom.
Yeah.
World peace, no war.
But I really think you would like it, Jacob. I really
might
do.
Give it another consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Back from what I remember when I played it at E3, it was pretty sick. It is a buttery smooth experience, though. It runs at 60 frames, doesn't it?
Dude, on PC, it is phenomenal.
I bet.
No frame hiccups. It is a excellent port. I'm actually playing with keyboard and mouse. I'm not even using a controller.
Nice.
And that's working okay for you?
Yeah. it's working. I had to mess with the camera sensitivities a little bit, but I'm enjoying in keyboard and mouse. But I'm sure it'd be just as great on gamepad as well. So.
I know I say this about practically every game that comes out these days, but I think I may play that at some point.
Yeah, it's not long either. For RPG standards, I think it's
like 70-ish hours, I heard.
If you do everything. Okay. But just to get through the main narrative, I think it's like 30, 40 hours.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Which for a JRPG, that's solid. Like nothing. And like I said, it's not hard. You're not going to get frustrated, like bashing your head against a wall, like fighting these bosses and stuff. So
do you need to play the first game before this one?
No. It has like...
So it's kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah. It's nothing to do with
exactly.
It's the same world.
I've done one there. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a sequence of puzzles that you have to do, and you have to follow a storyline. And I believe the storyline that you're following to solve these puzzles is kind of a callback to the first game. But besides that, the story is, like I said, very straightforward. You got to build this kingdom. You're meeting people along the way, and you're trying to rid the world of this mouse man and have world
Vermintide.
Make world peace.
Are there any dogs in the game?
Any dogs? Yes. I have fought hound-like creatures that are purple, but that's the closest thing to a dog I've seen.
I was hoping there would be like a dog-human mix.
There very well could be. There are lion people.
I'm into dogmen.
There could be. Who knows? Maybe further along, but yeah, it's a very just fun, happy game to play right now. And it's also a PlayStation console exclusive, which makes it even better.
Yes, it does.
So
I instantly want to play it more now.
Hey, while we're on the topic, I have a wonderful community question from Bohongades.
Oh,
Mr. Kyle himself.
Always giving us those good questions.
Of course.
We appreciate it.
He, along with many others. Kyle says, "Why hello, you fucking gorgeous dudes."
Wow.
It's a little rude.
I think it's
I like it.
Quite respectful and flattering, honestly. Ni no Kuni 2 has arrived in all its JRPG glory. I know not all of you have played it, but have any of you seen the movies the art style is based off of? I'm talking the glorious Studio Ghibli that, for those of you that don't know, is pretty much Japanese Disney or Pixar. If not, I highly recommend you guys check them out. Fantastic animated films that some people say rival, if not exceed, Disney's best.
Whoa.
Now, I haven't seen all of them by any means. I've seen two. The first one I ever saw was Spirited Away. Fantastic movie. Really, really cool. I highly recommend that one. It's about if I can even remember, a girl.
A dogman?
No, about a girl who goes to this, like, I don't even know. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I don't remember the exact details, but she's like in some alternate universe or something for this bathhouse, and her parents are turned into these pigs, and she kind of just has
pigman.
Yeah, kind of has to figure out a way to get out of there, and it is fantastic.
Get out of the bathhouse.
I've heard nothing but praise for those films.
Yeah.
I've never seen one all the way through. What's that one? It's probably the other one you've seen.
It's like Kiki's Delivery Service or something. That's the one that
maybe that was the one I've seen about 20 minutes of one, and I can't remember where I was when I saw it, but I obviously liked what I saw. I just haven't watched one all the way through. I regret not. I think it was Regal or AMC did a screening of a couple of those movies not too long ago.
One of my coworkers, he's like so into the Ghibli stuff that I remember he was like tweeting about it or going to see him or something.
I'm upset I didn't take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah, if y'all have a chance to watch, I'm sure all of them are great, but the only thing I can really say from firsthand that I enjoyed immensely was Spirited Away. So,
thank you for sharing.
Yeah, man, no problem. But yeah, Ni no Kuni 2, awesome.
Yeah, I will play that at some point, especially if I'm feeling down in the dumps. It sounds like a very joyful game.
Oh yeah,
very colorful and joyful.
It'll put a smile on your face.
That's great.
That's for sure.
This is random, but did you guys see the trailer for, it's called like Action something with Johnny Knoxville in it?
No.
I saw he was starring in something.
It's basically Jackass with a narrative. It's the premise is that he's like an old man talking to his grandkid or something about how he used to run this water park that was like the craziest thing ever, and it flashes back to him in his youth, and he's with this whole cast of characters. I think Chris Pontius is in it too, and I think he is by far the funniest guy from Jackass. I mean,
which one is he?
He's the guy with like the long ponytail.
Oh yeah,
he did what was it called?
Wild Boys?
Wild Boys, whatever
Yeah.
it's called. That is one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. I remember I binged it on Netflix way back in the day, and I've never laughed so hard in my entire life. Like, he is so funny.
The hardest I've ever laughed, I think, period, in my life was when me and my uncle went to go see Jackass 3 in theaters. We were like about to die.
Yeah, those
So
films are
funny.
special for sure. But this is basically Jackass, where a narrative where he's a character who owns this water park, and they're kind of failing as all the other water parks are just way better than them. So like, we need to make this insane. So they make it just the most violent, awful water park ever, where all these crazy people come to. And what I'm intrigued by is that all the stunts in the movie are actual stunts that Knoxville's doing in the other because they've done Jackass, so they can do it. But that's what's appealing about it, is that it's not like all green screen. I mean, I'm sure they're maybe tweaked a little bit in post, but they're all just real stunts that they're doing. So it's basically Jackass with a story, like a storyline. So it looks pretty interesting. It looks like it'll be a good time. So I think that comes out this summer in June.
Nice.
So I was kind of intrigued by that.
Cool.
I don't know what sparked that in my mind, but
What an interesting career for him. He's just physically putting himself in harm's way.
all right.
Just to,
Yeah, it's interesting to
entertain
see
people.
where they all are post Jackass 3. Like, I know, obviously that they're doing film stuff now, but or Knoxville and Chris Pontius, but Steve-O's like super clean. He's not on drugs anymore, and he rescued a dog from like Indonesia or something.
He's doing comedy,
saw that.
stand-up comedy.
Is he? I bet he's so funny. I should check that out. It looks like I mean, I don't keep up with these guys obviously, but it looks like Bam Margera is having a hard time with whatever he's going through. That's what I keep hearing. I see like every now and then I'll see a headline like Bam Margera this struggling with something, but sad.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever make a Jackass 4. They're all so old now. Not like old men, but in comparison to when they used to do it. Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah, I would.
So
They
fun.
probably already shortened their life.
I think
expectancies.
the action, I can't remember the title, but whatever it is, I feel like that in a way is the fourth Jackass movie, just with a story, like I mentioned. So that'd be funny.
What's it called again?
It's called Action Line or Action Packed or something. I can't remember. You can probably find the trailer really easy on YouTube. In other news, I played about 7 matches of PUBG Mobile. And the first 2 I won. Like, I found out the rest of the world was winning all their first matches. And at first I was like, how could someone be so bad at a game that I was astounded at how bad some of these quote unquote players were. I was like, there's got to be something. When I won my second match in a row uncontested, I was like, there has to be something up here. And then when I sent it to you guys, you mentioned like, apparently there are bots in the game. So then I started reading about it. And they claim that they think most of the bots are ones that are dressed the same, kind of act the same way. And I got to a point where my third or fourth match, I could tell who was a real player and who was a bot, purely based on the way they move and like some of the stupid things they would do. So I've gotten to a point now where I've definitely died from real players because the way they strafe and fire at me is totally unlike what a bot would do in the game. But yeah, it feels, in other news, there probably are bots in the game, but what's good about it is that it runs incredibly well. And I don't know if that's because it's mostly bots with maybe 10 real players in the match. I don't know. But as of right now, it feels incredible to play. And I never thought I'd say that about a shooter, especially a battle royale game at the size of PUBG on a phone. It is astounding how good it feels. In comparison to Xbox, it is laughable how much better it is. It's so funny. And some of just the changes they made to the mechanics just work so well with the phone. For example, when you loot stuff, it kind of loots automatically. If you don't want something, you just hit this little button and it stops looting. It also loads all your guns automatically for you when you pick it up, and reloading and shooting is really easy, and jumping and crouching and going prone. So it's a solid experience, man. It's very difficult to kind of move and aim at the same time. So what I've kind of done is I'll strafe either like a diagonal line or sideways and just shoot while I'm strafing back and forth, kind of be on the move and shoot at the same time. Because it's hard to like move and aim your gun in all different directions at the same time. But if you're real lucky, like I was in my first 2 matches I won, I can just post up and aim down the sights and just pop someone from afar, because the moving's so janky, because you have to constantly be on the move, because if you stop for 2 seconds, you'll get a kill, obviously. And that's kind of been the strategy I've had. But I think what I read is that the more you get into it, the more real players start to spawn. And I've definitely experienced matches in my 4th, 5th, and 6th matches where there's definitely more real players in there, because it's like an absolute war zone. It feels like normal PUBG again, but really solid. It's not like I'm going to be playing it constantly, but whenever I have like 20 minutes to kill somewhere, it's pretty fun to jump into a match. So pretty strong connection too. Even when I'm not using Wi-Fi, it's pretty solid. If you have decent service, it'll run well.
Nice.
So I have hit a hardcore glitch though. Like PC level glitch where I was like, man, this is running so well, and out of nowhere I'm riding a motorcycle and I just launched to space. And not only did I launch to space, I started swimming in the air.
Oh, nice.
And then I poofed and I was back on the ground and my bike was just laying there. I was like, what in the world was that? And then the swimming mechanics were on my screen, like the swimming buttons to where I can only swim up or down, but I was still running around the world. So it thought I was swimming, but in reality I was running and I couldn't shoot at anyone. Like, and people started shooting at me and all I could do was swim. So I had to just back out of the match. I was upset because I had like a really good loadout and everything. But aside from that, it's really solid. It's a good time. I recommend it.
Nice.
So we're going to talk about Fortnite Mobile here in a little bit, and it's unbelievable success so far, and it's not even mass marketed yet. It's like invite only, and it's made Epic a ton of money. So anyway, I think that's all I played this week. I didn't get to play any Hunt, which I've poured over 100 hours into. Totally love that game.
Crazy.
I am into that game, dude. I won't play it anytime soon, obviously, 'cause I'm doing a lot of stuff with Far Cry and Sea of Thieves, but it's killer, man. I love it a lot, and the more you rank up, just the more fun it is. So
Nice.
yeah,
Very cool.
that's it for me.
Nice.
You got anything else, Jacob?
Once again, it's just more of the same for me. One thing I'll mention is during Kingdom Hearts 2, I am pretty much at the end. I got to like the last world in the game. It's called like the world that doesn't exist or something weird like that. But I'm at the point where you fight Roxas as Sora, and holy shit, that fight is hard. I forgot how hard it was. I tried it like 5 times and I raged a little bit and threw my controller, and I just turned off the game the other night, so I haven't played since then. But still really enjoying that game. Obviously, it's one of my favorite games of all time, and I don't know if I'll finish anytime soon because Far Cry 5 is coming out this week, and definitely want to stream that. So that'll take up a lot of my time. But yeah, just like I said, more of the same. Nothing exciting to really report on. I streamed Overwatch a couple times last week.
Thanks for pulling your weight there, because I was incredibly busy this week. I couldn't stream. I'm going to try to stream this week a little bit.
I don't really look at it as pulling weight. I enjoy doing it. So
I'm glad you do, because I enjoy it as well when I have time. Like I said, it's our dream to stream every night of the week. Just at this point in our lives, it's impossible. So, but when we can, we greatly appreciate all of you tuning in to support us. So it's awesome. What were you looking up there?
Oh, no, I got a text.
Oh, okay.
Nudes.
Yeah.
Nudes,
Yeah.
dude. What was I going to say? It was important. Oh, yeah, I was thinking, not that we would do this unless everyone really, really wanted it, but I almost feel like our opening discussion could be a podcast of its own, and then just we'd have the news and community question side of like the actual It's Obvious podcast. Just out of curiosity, not that we're going to change anything, but how would you feel in a theoretical world if our opening segment that's typically 45 minutes to an hour where we just talk about what we're playing and how our week went, for that to be like a standalone show with its own title, and then
It's almost like a fireside chat or something.
yeah, like what's I think Easy Allies does this,
Yeah,
where they just talk about what they're playing.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call it.
Frame trap.
Yeah,
We do spend a lot of time every podcast.
do something like that where it's its own. We would technically have 3 shows. We would have that, It's Obvious podcast, and Ask IOG. Like, what if it was?
What's Ask IOG?
I don't know, dude.
Never heard
I mean,
of
it's
that.
this idea I've had that we haven't really acted on yet. But this would be the dream. This would be the dream right here. Not that, like I said, we're going to do this. But what if we had our opening discussion as its own separate show that hits on... No, we'll have It's Obvious podcast that hits on Monday, like it always has, where we just... brief little intro, blah, 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 blah. What's up? Go into the news, community questions, the end. Have a main topic, of course. Wednesday is what we're playing. That's what we're playing. I mean, obviously we'd film it all together and I just cut it up. Wednesday would be, this is what we're playing this week, blah, blah. Have our fun little goofy discussion. And then Fridays, Ask IOG. If it was every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, our 3 big shows, 5 nights of the week streaming, that'd be the most beautiful thing in the world. I'd be so proud of us. But these are the dreams I have when I don't have time to do anything for It's Obvious. And I'm basically bleeding from my eyes, tears, because I'm so upset.
It may be beneficial for us to like maybe consider... Not that this would create
Quitting
more
our
time.
jobs and investing everything into It's Obvious Gaming. I was
Yes.
thinking the same
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Especially Preston, the married man.
Yeah,
over here.
man. Just let's end it all.
We're going to just trust that everyone's going to support us. So,
But what I was saying was maybe we should consider, like, we don't have the means to do it right now, but just making that show, Ask IOG in particular, like an online exclusive show. Like, we all stay at our houses, and that'd be a lot easier to kind of put
it
together, I
would.
think.
I'd have to figure out Google Hangouts or whatever.
I'd have to get one
But
of these.
it's not that hard. I mean, a million people do
Yeah.
that, so it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
You could just take that home with you.
Okay.
I never use it
I don't
outside
have a
this
mixer,
podcast.
though.
You can get one for less than $100.
Just plug it into the
I want
USB.
my audio to sound like shit though. If I buy one for less than $100, is that going to be the case?
The mixer we used for like 2 years was like $80.
Yeah, and it's solid. I mean, Behringer mixers seem to just crap out very quickly for some reason.
But we can discuss
for streaming
technicalities of our podcast.
Yeah. This is the potential our channel has that it may never reach because we're so busy. But this would be the dream. Like I said, it would just be 3 shows a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, streams every night, and maybe a Let's Play or 2 as well on top of that. Which I think if we did this full time, which we can't obviously, but if we had enough support to do it full time, that would be what it would be every single week. So. And I would be so happy doing that.
Talk about love going to work every day.
Yeah, seriously.
Dream.
Yeah, but this is the kind of stuff I think about when I'm alone in my room.
I played 2 more things this week.
Did you?
Yeah, nothing too big, but I told you before we got on that Ubisoft was having a big Steam sale, so I picked up.
Is it still going on?
Yeah, it is.
Goes live on a Monday.
I don't know.
Or is it like a weekend thing?
It's like today is a Saturday. It's going on.
So throw some names out there aside from Splinter Cell.
Just every Tom Clancy, Ghost Recon.
Are all the Far Cry's there?
Yeah, everyone. Assassin's Creed, all of them.
There's something I want to say about Far Cry 5 that I'm interested. I'll tell you after that. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. That reminds me of Far Cry 2, but not necessarily in a good way.
Okay.
So,
oh no.
Yeah.
I hope it's not one of.
No,
the
it's
things.
not bad. Now, if I were reviewing this game, I wouldn't really count it.
You
as
have
a
malaria?
Negative. No, not thankfully not that. But there is an aspect of it. I'm like, this kind of reminds me of the second game a bit. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I'll ask you what it is when we're out.
Okay.
So I was looking through the page of things on sale, and I saw Splinter Cell Double Agent. Now, there was back when I was super involved in the Splinter Cell community, I was on the forums and stuff. There was a big debate between which Double Agent version was better. There was the OG Xbox PS2 version versus the next gen Double Agent. Now, the last gen iteration was more like Chaos Theory. Just a sequel to Chaos Theory, whereas the next gen version of Double Agent was a completely different game, almost different HUD, completely different missions, different undercover elements and level from the last one. I think the story's kind of aligned a little bit, but there is just they took more of a chance with the next gen version. And initially, I was very much the old or last gen version. It had the co-op, which I believe me and you even played a little bit of that, the old Double Agent co-op. And because I love Chaos Theory, and that was more of, like I said, a sequel to that. So I was a big supporter of that version as compared to the next gen version of Double Agent. But sometime down the line, I picked up the next gen Double Agent, and I ended up getting all the achievements on it, and ended up loving that. So looking through the list of games on sale, I looked at that the box art for Double Agent, and I just had flashbacks to playing that game and having so much fun. So I just bought it on a whim. It was $1.99, and I played through the first mission of that game, and that is such a good Splinter Cell game. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. It's just so fun. The first mission, you're infiltrating this base, and that's just covered in ice, and you scuba dive up, and you break the ice, and you sneak through this facility. And the big gimmick with this game is that you are a double agent, and you have to complete certain objectives to keep your trust with the NSA and the agency that you're a double agent for up, because if one goes down, then you lose the mission. I think depending on if you kill or knock out people, the NSA will go up and down or whatever. I'm not exactly sure, but there's just so many memorable missions from that game that I look forward to kind of just dabbling in that. And I really like this is the only third-person stealth game that I actually find very playable with mouse and keyboard. And the old Splinter Cell games are the only game I've seen do this mechanic where the scroll wheel dictates how fast and slow that you walk. So if you're in a crouch walk, if you roll the mouse wheel back, you can go at like a snail's pace.
That's how
and
every stealth mechanic should be on PC.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it feels super natural. It's great because, you know, obviously having a keyboard, you can't slightly push it if you're going forward or whatever. And first-person stealth games like Thief and Deus Ex, that doesn't bother me too much because there isn't really a sound component of walking. But with Splinter Cell and stuff, where they can actually hear you walking, that has to be in there, and that's way better in my opinion than hitting like a caps lock or control or whatever to slow your movement, and you only have 2 movement speeds. So I hope the next Splinter Cell will implement that. Blacklist was better. There were 2 speeds as opposed to Conviction, where there was only 1 speed of crouch walking, but I would love for it to go back to this type of movement in the older games. But anyways, yeah, that's a great game. I don't know if you ever played it, but with it being $1.99.
Double Agent?
Yeah.
I only played the first couple missions in that game.
Yeah.
I remember the opening kind of trains you, doesn't it? Like you're in a training facility, if I remember correctly.
There is a training option.
Okay, I think that's what
you're talking about, the very first mission of the first Splinter Cell, you're in a training.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember watching you play that as kids.
Yeah.
Distinctly remember that.
Double Agent's great. It's $1.99 if you like stealth games. All the Splinter Cells are like $1.99, Chaos Theory and everything. So definitely jump on that.
And doing Chaos Theory, because that's one I never played, and that's the one that always gets the most praise.
Yeah. Chaos Theory's legit, dude. That's so awesome. But anywho, so I played that for like an hour, but the second game I played is I was actually able to play a little bit of A Way Out last night.
Who'd you play with?
I played with Jay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can play with anybody, so it's not like you don't just have one friend code.
Are you willing to start fresh with me?
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't play too long or anything. It was just I really wanted to at least try it just so I could kind of give a few opinions on it today.
Yeah.
So me and my uncle played for about an hour or 2 hours, nothing crazy long, but so far my first thoughts is that it's a really cool co-op game that relies on both. One of my biggest problems with some co-op games is I feel like one person's kind of doing something important and the other one has to watch or slightly help. But
you mean like Mario Odyssey, where one person can play Mario and the other's the hat?
Exactly. But even in like Splinter Cell, it kind of seems like, all right, I'm gonna go take this guy out. It's like a single player mission kind of with 2 people, where every once in a while you'll have to do an act where 2 people have to work together, like either throwing somebody across a gap or helping somebody up onto a ledge or whatever. This game is really good about 2 people doing things at the same time that are important. Whether it be when you're actually escaping the prison, one person has a flashlight and has to light the way for another guy in a different part of the area. That's just an example. I don't want to give away anything else, but pretty much every act requires both of you doing something, and it's pretty linear. That is probably not that it's really bad, because I don't want to compare this to a Telltale game, because by no means it's not. There's no choices, but it is very much a linear story-based game with. I shouldn't have even said Telltale. That's not a good example at all. So just completely erase that from your memory, because it's not like that at all. There are a few. I can't even say a few. I've only had one decision so far. When we were breaking out of the prison, there was a option to either steal a cop car or sneak under the bridge, and both of you have to agree on this. So
I feel like you and I are of the same mind. We're going to agree on everything.
Yeah, for the most part.
What if you don't? What happens?
Then we'll
break his legs.
Yeah. I didn't see what would happen if you both pick different things, if it would pick something, just a random choice or whatever. But yeah, there are some obviously with it being like a kind of a stealth game, there are some segments where you have to sneak past guys, but it's really easy. And if there are situations where both of you have to take out a guy at the same time, and it is very like obvious, you're like, clearly we're both supposed to take out these guys at the same time. So far in the game, there aren't really any different paths to take. There are no collectibles. There aren't, like I said, besides the one choice I told you, there aren't any different choices. The only choice that I think you could really take is who's going to do which task or whatever. The story's interesting. The characters are interesting. The voice acting feels a little David Cagey, if that makes any sense. It's just I don't even know how to describe that if you haven't played a David Cage game. It's kind of just, you can tell that Joseph wrote that with, I don't necessarily think English is his first language. So some of the way they talk is a little odd at times. So the voice acting isn't the best thing ever. I'm trying to think of an example. It keeps going to these flashbacks where Leo and Vincent are the two characters. They're in this airplane, and Vincent will go, "Hey Leo, remember when I saved your ass back at that place?" And then Leo will go, "Yeah, man, nice try about that. Don't let it get to your head." That's kind of like how they talk sometimes. I'm like, this isn't the best voice acting. The writing could be a little bit better, but that's probably my only complaint. I know you said it looked a little janky in some of the things. It's not really. You don't think about it. At least playing it, I didn't think of it at all. But yeah, I think it's definitely a game that me and you will enjoy, immensely. Of course, the first mission, you're breaking out of a prison, dude. Like,
that's classic.
Yeah. So there is I'm not going to spoil it, but in the process of breaking out, like there are just some really cool set piece moments where you're helping each other out, where like a guy's getting frisked and you have to like take what he has from him and you're like passing it back and forth and stuff just so you don't get caught or anything. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. It's I have a feeling that it's going to be a really cool game, and I'm excited to hear that the conclusion is very cool to the game. So that definitely, not that I wasn't wanting to continue to play it, but that makes me even more excited to continue. So yeah, man, look forward to playing it with you especially.
I'm very excited.
Oh yeah.
I put a poll on Twitter. By the time you hear this podcast, it'll have already ended, but we shared it on Discord as well. People to vote whether we're going to stream or let's play it. And I think streaming would probably be easier anyway. Okay. But I think it would
for you guys to stream it.
Yeah, I think it'd be a really solid stream. The only problem is that obviously I'm limited on time. So me and Preston play it. It probably will rarely be at a time where it's appropriate to stream it. Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
It was the highest streaming game on release day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was like 270 or 80 something thousand people watching.
Released on Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah. People are into it. The big, I don't even watch this guy. I don't even know why I'm following him on Twitter. Lyric, really big streamer. Yeah, he played through it in one sitting and he was raving on Twitter about how much he loved it. He gave it like a 9 out of 10, and the Joseph guy was like, replied to him and was like, "Thank you so much," or whatever.
I'm wondering if everyone's streaming, if that's going to affect sales, because I feel like when people see it, it's one of those games like, well, I've seen everything, why would I play it?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's very much a like I said, linear based experience where you're making a handful of choices. Yeah, well, I mean, once you see it, that's kind of it. There's no combat really. The only combat I've done is quick time based.
I mean, that alone hurts the game, not what you were just saying, but just it being a co-op game, like that alone is going to hurt the game in sales already. So yeah, but there's definitely an audience for it, Definitely, and people are certainly raving over it.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that people are making games like this because there's no reason why couch co-op games are. I know this isn't couch co-op.
It feels like it.
It could be. Yeah.
It's split screen, no matter what.
But there's no reason why those games have to die. Like, we saw Microsoft try to get rid of co-op in Halo, and you saw what happened there, all the backlash they got. So there's no reason why these games should have to go anywhere. I'm glad this one's turning out pretty good.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing that about this game, like artistically, is the split screen. How it'll like make some things bigger, and once you're past kind of like a line for cutscenes, it'll like turn into one screen, and then it'll like break apart again when you have to go do different things. It's really cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. That's all I played.
Dude.
Yeah, man.
Anything from anyone else? Let's jump into this podcast.
Let's do it. Hey guys, this is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you, you can check us out at other podcasting services. Not that YouTube is a podcasting service. Once I go off my regular tangent, I get lost and I get afraid and I don't know how to find my way back to the track here. I don't know what to do now.
You get lost in the echo.
Just follow the clues, man.
You can check us out on, I'm going to say, people, dude, other podcasts I listen to, they're like, we're on Spotify, dude. This is so crazy. I'm like, man, we've been on Spotify for
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning. Yeah. Get on our level.
Well, since episode
guys.
40 at least.
Yeah. So, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audio Boom, Stitcher, just other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for timestamps. Just skip throughout the podcast. Links to our social media pages, PlayStation Community, Xbox Club, LOL, and other ways to connect with us. Man, just beating up Xbox today. Sorry.
I feel like both that and the PlayStation communities are just... I know ours has died since we had our Discord. Mm-hmm. Like that was like the one place where people could kind of talk to each other on our little community. But
yeah, Discord rules everything as far as communities now.
And that Discord link is in the description, so please check that out. We have something really cool going on over there. Also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously, and we would also forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
One more thing, I'm sorry. If you really like our podcast, you should definitely leave a review, because I love reviews and they definitely help us out, especially on
Apple Podcasts.
On Apple Podcasts, yes. But if you don't want to leave a review, that's fine. You know, like a comment on YouTube is fantastic, and also just a like. Anything you can do to help bolster our confidence would be fantastic.
That'd be great.
If you hate the video, leave a dislike. I don't care.
No, don't do that.
Do it.
What have you done, Jacob?
I want all dislikes on this video.
Yeah, that's not gonna play out well for us.
Let's see how many we get.
One thing I do want to hear is anyone's thoughts on, which we'll remind everyone at the end, your thoughts on the idea of potentially splitting this podcast's our opening segment where we talk about what we're playing and how our week went into its own separate show at some point. Mm-hmm. Just out of curiosity, I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on that. Anyway, Ubisoft is officially free from Vivendi's imminent grasp. As we know, Vivendi was buying stock after stock, trying to acquire them. And somehow Ubisoft managed to convince them to sell, I think it was 30 million plus in stock. And they're no longer in the grasp of Vivendi. So
I think Yves Guillemot had a little talk with Sam Fisher, sent him on a secret mission. Yeah. And Vivendi nobody knows where they are. Mm-hmm. Mr. Vivendi. Right. He's disappeared.
Is this where Sam's been all this time?
Get them all.
Probably. That's why
that could be what the new Splinter Cell's based on. Sam Fisher took care of him. So yeah, that's cool for Ubisoft, and Ubisoft is killing it in the games department.
Yeah, they are. They are very much doing that, Garrett.
They're
indeed.
On fire.
Yes. Tell us about Far Cry 5. How's that going?
Oh, dude, cool. It's great. We'll talk about it more next week after it. Everyone else will have played it by then too, so we'll all talk about Far Cry.
I won't have, sadly.
Yeah, well, that'll be our main topic probably next week is Far Cry, because everyone will have been playing it. Fortnite Mobile's revenue is through the roof, like I mentioned earlier. This comes from Shabana Arif from IGN. She says, quote, Fortnite iOS launched last week and players spent 1 million on in-app purchases within the first 72 hours. According to data from Sensor Tower, the game has raked in over 1.5 million worldwide so far, which is impressive considering the release has been limited to invite-only on iOS. Sensor Tower reports that based on cosmetic in-app purchases alone, Fortnite has grossed around a third of the revenue that Pokemon Go has earned in its first 4 days on iOS. Niantic managed to make 4.9 million in 4 days, so Fortnite's numbers really aren't too shabby. The game also topped iOS charts in 47 countries less than 24 hours after launch, and ranked within the top 10 in 58 countries. Fortnite will be coming to Android eventually, but for now it's invite-only on iOS.
Bunch of nerds.
See, this news is exactly why microtransactions are never going to die. It's 1.5 million when it's iOS only invite, and they've made that much money alone just off of that. Imagine how much more they're going to make when it's on both, on Android and iOS, and it's completely worldwide.
Everyone can play it.
Yeah.
People love them Fortnite skins, man. Every time a new one drops, it's just like people getting frantic, crazy. Mm-hmm. The emotes and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's great for Epic. They just continue to win with their Fortnite Beast Battle Royale, man.
Yeah. Very cool.
No one can stop that train.
Not anytime soon, at least.
I'd like to know the how many people have purchased the Save the World edition of the game due to all the success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It'd be funny if at one point that becomes like the new hot side of Fortnite. 'Cause everyone's played Battle Royale. It's old now, so everyone's doing Save the World.
You got to think that some people just love Fortnite so much that they want to, just support them more and buying that Save the World thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
what is it? Just like a horde mode kind of thing? Like, I know you build bases and stuff, right?
That's basically what it is.
Because I know the buildings in the actual Battle Royale too.
Yeah.
That's a big part of that.
So, which is so odd. You'd think and like when I think about it, it's just a weird thing to have in Battle Royale. Like it's almost like it shouldn't be there.
That's what really sets it apart.
But it's such a big part of it. Yeah. So, and it is even really like people build like magnificent fortresses. They'll build like
it's just people
a spiraling tower or like a bridge somewhere really quickly to get around, and
everyone trying to get high ground.
It proves to be very effective, it seems, and that's something I am incapable of doing, and that's why I lose every time in Fortnite. So, oh well, but that's pretty cool for Epic. Funimation tweeted at Nintendo, seemingly joking about Goku being in the new Smash Bros. So obviously people have been saying that for years, but Funimation straight up tweeted at Nintendo. It's like, when are we going to see Goku in Smash Bros?
That would be so cool, guys.
That would be so cool.
I'm not even joking. That would be freaking awesome.
It'd be very cool.
Yeah. I've been watching Super still. I'm liking it.
What's that?
Dragon Ball Super, dude.
Oh, Super still.
Yeah.
I've been watching Super
I'm
still.
trying to not spoil it for me, but the new episodes are coming out, and Goku is looking like a badass in his mastered Ultra Instinct Sage, where he looks like a god. And I want to get to that as fast as possible.
What does it mean to look like a god, Preston?
He is white and shining and like has his black hair like all flying up and stuff. Looks so cool. So I'm trying my fastest to get there so I can keep up with everybody. But
one of these days I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm on episode 90 something.
Wow.
So
I made it to about episode 10.
I would just start after the Frieza saga.
I haven't even seen the Frieza saga.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, well then watch that.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even get to that. I was at the part where they were on the boat and they were fighting Beerus.
Yeah. There are different things, but it ends essentially the same.
Cool.
So, yeah, I enjoy Super.
Speaking of Smash Bros, Nintendo says it will be playable at E3, which is not a surprise. That's what we suspected.
Isn't there like a tournament? There's like a tournament for Smash and Splatoon, I think, at E3.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
That kind of, is that confirmed that we're going to hear about it soon, like before E3? Like, you would think that the people going there to play have to know something about the game to compete.
Maybe we'll see it in action a bit before actual E3.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll be a direct right before E3 or like their treehouse thing, but I know that kind of happens during E3. It's like day 2 or 3. They typically have their treehouse or whatever, but we'll find out. That's cool though.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I can get my hands on it. I'd be very happy about that, but I don't know for sure. God of War has gone gold. That's very cool. It's always an exciting thing to hear, especially about a month out from release. So they have confidence in it. It's ready to roll, man.
I just like it that just assures there's no more delays.
Right.
It's at least coming. But
yes,
I mean, they're by no means, I forgot who said it, but it's like obviously common knowledge that even though the game's gold, they're still working on patches and stuff. But I like the reassurance of knowing that we are for a fact getting this game on April 21st now.
We are.
So
unless they're combing through it and they find the most game-breaking bug in the history of mankind, they're like, just kidding, we're pushing it to April 2019.
Oh no.
So, just out of curiosity, are you guys getting a collector's edition or just a standard game?
Just standard.
I pre-ordered the collector's edition months ago.
Nice.
So, yes, Stone Mason edition.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Statue's so cool.
Dude, I wasn't here last week. I'm so unbelievably hyped for God of War that there are no words in the human language that can even describe how excited I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited myself.
Fantastic.
Based on hearing the only person I've heard really go into big detail from who I've watched is Greg Miller talked about his experience, and he described a little bit one of the first boss fights, and just his description of I believe he said it was the best superhero fight he's ever seen in a video game. That just I almost drove off the road.
When I watched that gameplay, I instantly thought of Thor when I saw his axe being thrown. It's like, whoop. It's like, holy shit! I've always wanted to do that in a game.
I knew it was going to be cool based on what we had already seen, but just the game footage that they put out this past week, or when y'all talked about it, it actually exceeded my expectations. I didn't know there was going to be armor systems, and I didn't know it was going to go super into like RPG elements like that, which of course I always love that in games. And just graphically insane. The combat looks super visceral and just fun and just in your face and just brutal. And from what I've heard, the story is very engaging and emotional already. Like, are you kidding me? That's the first thing I thought when I saw that. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I watched a recap of just God of War story from even God of War 1 and Chains of Olympus and Ascension and all that stuff all the way through 3.
Yeah.
Leading up to the 4th one, it makes me even more excited.
Yeah. Dude, I want to know, why is he here? Like, how did he get to this world? What, like, that is why I'm so excited. Like, what is going on with my boy Kratos?
Right.
Where are his... I'm telling y'all, he's getting those blades back. We're going to have some flashback or something where we have the Blades of Chaos back and we're whooping somebody's ass. Somebody's ass is getting whooped by the Blades of Chaos.
Cool if it was like the final boss fight or something.
You're fighting like Odin and just somehow the blades come back and you just...
Like maybe your axe breaks or something.
I don't know. That might, could not. They might want to be putting that back in the past. But if that were to happen, I might poop. That might happen. That probably would happen.
It's probably going to happen.
Just one nugget.
Not only you pooping, but the blades.
I would expect at least we might have a little flashback segment just to play to the old school God of War. We might have a little section where we're using those blades or whatever. So
it's a shame it's not on PC.
That's fine. I'll play
PS4.
Yeah.
God of War 3 is so badass. Just the opening alone is the most epic thing.
Yeah.
I love that game.
When you're like scaling, what is it, Olympus, I guess?
On the Titans.
Going up to see Zeus.
Yeah.
Going up to see Zeus.
Yep, just go.
Hey, man. What's up?
Just beating the ever-living crap out of Poseidon at the beginning.
Did you see the footage that was released where he's fighting that witch thing and just is beating its head in for like 15 seconds and then just throws it on the floor and it explodes?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be so hyped playing that game, I'm going to like destroy the room I'm in. Just like slinging the controller around. Oh, I'm so excited for that, man.
It looks great.
So excited.
So close, too.
I know.
At CD Projekt Red's financial presentation, co-founder Adam Kaczynski suggested that Cyberpunk 2077 will be officially announced, I guess revealed more, prior to E3 2018. And at this same meeting, he also hinted that players will put together their own characters and some form of multiplayer will be included, and it may or may not exist on future tech.
That also, just talking about God of War, I was in slightly aroused, but I'm full on just...
You're full on a wreck.
I might have to leave the room.
Yeah.
Based on that statement. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was mostly discussing the success of the Witcher franchise, and I think it was 40 million copies sold, right?
The franchise.
The franchise in total.
Around there, yeah. Which the first two Witchers I don't think sold even close to as well as 3. So a bulk of that is 3 probably, which is insane.
Yeah.
Have we talked about Garrett being in Soul Calibur on this show?
We did last week, yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
But that's great for CD Projekt Red, and obviously they're investing all their chips into Cyberpunk, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think we've said it 100 times now that it will more than likely exist on future consoles.
For sure. I am so interested in just what the gameplay of that game is going to be like.
I think we're finally going to see it at E3. According to this, I don't want just another cinematic trailer. I need some gameplay for sure.
Have we even had a trailer period?
We had that like little teaser cinematic.
It was like
trailer.
a still image essentially where
Basically,
the camera was moving through it.
Yeah.
Where do we see gameplay for this game during E3?
I don't know, because they're claiming they're going to announce it beforehand, so I don't know if they'll do like a stage demo.
Well,
or
let's
anything.
just assume they wait till E3.
If it's going to be at one of the major players, I would probably guess Xbox, because they had the Wild Hunts. I think everything they showed during E3 was during Microsoft's press conference. So
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
So
if it's claiming, I don't know, even if it's going to be on. Do you think this is going to be a cross-generation game? Because like I said, if they're wanting to completely one-up The Witcher 3, like I have no clue how they're going to
just release it on
do
PC
that on this hardware. Yeah, just put it on PC and Switch.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah, but I might be thinking like something just crazy. Like they might not be going, they might not technically be pushing it as much as The Witcher 3, just systems might be, past it or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe this game doesn't need a big open world like The Witcher 3. Like, we don't know. Interesting
that they're choosing to go with the create your character route this time, as opposed to they've always done, it's just Garrett.
Yeah. So. Which is, I actually like a character to be as in games like this, but the thing that excites me the most is different classes and stuff. That's very exciting to me. Being able to play this game multiple times is, hopefully completely different, experiences based on who you picked.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that ridiculous Modern Warfare 2 rumor about it being single player only?
That is horrible.
This rumor was so stupid to me that I didn't even bother looking into it, because I'm like, that has to be beyond false.
Based on sources, people are saying that it's like credible.
What idiot would think that's okay?
I'm hoping that there's been a misconstruing of words and it somehow comes out that you can buy it separately. Like there is a single player and then there's a multiplayer and you can pick which one you want to buy.
It's like either way, it's either way, it's
I don't know. That's the only thing.
I mean, what moron when they know that Call of Duty is purely based around its multiplayer. I mean, obviously single player is a big part of it. Modern Warfare 2's campaign alone is excellent.
Awesome.
Maybe that was like their plan. Now they're seeing all the backlash. Like, oh crap!
Like, who would even think that's a good idea in the first place? Because that's what keeps people.
Well,
playing
somebody made a good point. I think maybe Activision was fine with releasing Modern Warfare Remastered because they probably knew internally that the multiplayer for Infinite Warfare was going to be trashed and just hated based on just, feedback. And it just, definitely wasn't Call of Duty's best multiplayer outing. That's the only Call of Duty multiplayer that I have no recollection over. I couldn't tell you one thing about. I never even played it. I did not even push multiplayer in Infinite Warfare, not one time.
I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, I know. But with Black Ops 4 coming out, which I'm assuming is going to be really good multiplayer-wise, do they not want to clutter up Call of Duty multiplayer by re-releasing Modern Warfare 2? Do you think they just want everybody to be fixated on Black Ops 4?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It really depends on when it's released, but even if they do release it, people are still going to be enamored with it, especially if it's remastered. So it could completely interfere with Black Ops, even if Black Ops releases 3 or 4 months after. So I get that completely, but I do think, like, why even... I mean, again, campaign's awesome, but why release it when everyone really wants that multiplayer more than anything? So myself included, like I said, love the campaign, but multiplayer is where my heart was with that game. So I don't know what they'd be thinking there, but that's a good point. Like, I can see why they'd be hesitant. So I guess time will tell, but I thought that was just the weirdest, dumbest rumor.
Yeah.
So we'll find out soon, I imagine. Following creative director Mike Laidlaw's exit from BioWare, he believes that Dragon Age 4 will undergo a reboot. At GDC, he stated a small skeleton crew was in the process of developing it, but in addition to the demand of Anthem, it's likely it'll head back to the drawing board. Not a surprise there. Obviously, Anthem's probably all hands on deck at BioWare, especially when media outlets and everyone on the internet saying it's the final straw for BioWare. So probably feel even more pressured, as we've said. But after Inquisition, I'm not hyped for new Dragon Age. Of course, I'll be interested when it's finally announced and they show kind of what it's all about. But for some reason, Inquisition didn't grab me, and I tried playing it on 3 separate occasions, and I just couldn't get into it.
Me being a big Dragon Age fan, it didn't hook me as much as the first 2.
It was a little janky now that I think back on it. Just the combat I guess it wasn't really particularly fun to play for me. I just kind of played it because there wasn't much to play back then.
Yeah.
It was really the only game like that. Like, I've always been a big fan of fantasy open world games, and that was pretty much my only option back then.
I think that's the most, in terms of games that have won multiple Game of the Year awards, that one, I always forget that was like the best game of that year.
I know. Everyone praised it.
Yeah.
The development story of that game is fascinating, and Jason Schreier's book. I remember that one specifically.
Don't get me wrong, I liked it, but even up into its release, I wasn't really hyped for it. So
I wish I could have finished it. It was that story of where my save got corrupted and I couldn't even load the game. So
shame.
I was playing on the hardest difficulty too, and that game just kicked me in the balls repeatedly. So who knows, maybe if I played it in I was so just trophy hungry. I was like, I have to play this on like murder difficulty or whatever it was. So
sounds like hell.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, that brings us to
PC gaming cured me, I think.
Yeah.
I'm platinuming God of War. Like,
of course.
Don't get me wrong. I'm platinuming that game, but like with Nino Kuni and everything, dude, like, man, I'm just having fun. Running around with my little yellow blob guy, just beating up stuff, smiling, not worrying about achievements. It's great, man.
Wonderful.
It's just wonderful.
That's how a true free gamer feels.
Yeah.
Not confined.
It is. It's like a weight off my shoulders at some point. But I still, like I said, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna platinum God of War and Spider-Man, and you bet your ass I'm platinum in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna create like 5 different accounts just to platinum that multiple times on my Spider-Man PlayStation 4 console. And I'm also
Spider-Man reviews come out 5 out of 10.
No, I'll be the fanboy that's lying
defending
to himself.
It'll be the hill you die on.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
cool. Well,
it'll be like my all the fanboys I follow on Twitter that are saying Sea of Thieves is game of the year and stuff. Right, I'll be them in Spider-Man form.
It's like I can feel their yearning to just.
I know.
This is what Xbox is needed, and then Crackdown comes is not what they're hoping for. And State of Decay 2 looks cool to me, but if that underwhelms as well, it's like, what is
I
left?
want to take them by their hands and be like, it's okay. Like, you can multiple consoles. It's fine. Like, you can do it.
Look at all you're missing out on PlayStation this year alone.
Yeah. Xbox is fine, man, but you don't have to die on the hill every single exclusive. It's going to be okay.
But the console wars... You just give up the fight.
I know. It's a
battlefield.
So,
anyways,
man. Good times.
Yeah.
Finally, that brings us to community questions. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your continued support of this show by submitting questions week in and week out that fuel the latter half of each episode, where we can communicate with you directly and answer questions regarding games or random topics that typically topics wind up on Ask IOG. Again, we have a massive catalog of questions to catch up with on that show, so we're very thankful for that. And please keep them coming, because you're not sending your questions into the ether. I promise I collect all of them, and they will be answered in time. And they're going to make for great episodes, so we appreciate that. And if you want your questions read on this show or Ask IOG, you can reach us in one of 3 places. You can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming, or you can submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. Wherever you submit your questions, with the exception of Discord, just always include the hashtag AskIOG at the end of your question or in like the subject line, so we know for a fact you want your question read on the show. Otherwise, we're just going to answer it wherever you sent it, or it'll never be read live, and we'd hate that. So let us know. With all that being said, let's jump into the first question. It comes from Mason Martin. Ooh. Mason says, do you guys think we will see/hear anything about the Avengers game that Crystal Dynamics is working on at E3 this year?
I think so.
I think we should, especially following Infinity War.
Yeah.
I think it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
To even just a tease to show something.
And it was, when was it even teased?
It was teased
a while ago.
2 or 3 years ago, right?
No.
I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before last year. Either that or at the very beginning of last year.
There's no way it was that long ago.
It feels like it.
I'm going to look this up.
Maybe I'm crazy. But I feel like it's perfect timing, because Infinity War, the hype will still be very high, I assume, for that movie come E3. And it would be the perfect time to build on that hype, or at least ride the coattails of that hype by revealing that
the
game.
Announcement trailer was last January.
Okay, so the very beginning of last year.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit over a year.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because it almost feels like it was in 2016.
So for sure, we'll see something.
Cool.
A trailer or something, I think.
Yeah, I think we need to know what the game's all about.
Yeah.
And more than just, oh, look, it's a cool trailer with all the characters here.
All these Destiny-like rumors and stuff. I'm like, wow, like, I need to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time for sure. I think we'll definitely see it. What do you think, Jacob?
What are you talking about? I was looking at reviews.
You can leave.
Do you think we'll see or hear anything about the Avengers game that Crystal Dynamics is working on at E3?
Yeah, I think we could.
Yeah. I think it'd be crazy not to.
Give me that and Shadow of the Tomb Raider, dog.
Amen,
that is what I want to play. I wasn't here last week. I thought Tomb Raider was dope. I liked it. She was cool. I want to play that game. I actually went home and played the original Tomb Raider due to the movie tickling my fancy a little bit. So I really
I'm going to play
Shadow.
Rise again before Shadow.
Yeah.
I got to play
Same here.
before September, so
You could just.
sometime
Was
between
it
now
you
and then.
or you that had to just finish the last part of the game?
That was me.
That was
I mean,
me.
I had 15 minutes left. I was like,
The ending's cool too.
I'm
Big
sure it
set
is.
piece moment.
I'm sure it is.
It's
Yeah.
really cool. You need to. I wish I was you, Jacob. Just knowing I have this super fun, epic adventure ahead of me in Rise of the Tomb Raider and having played it yet. So exciting.
I was gonna play it probably this week, but Far
But now you
Cry's
got
coming
Nino
out.
Kuni
Yeah,
and everything, dude.
I might just put that on the backlog.
What?
Nino Kuni.
Nino Kuni?
Yeah.
You need to play that game, Jacob.
But I gotta play so many other games.
I know, but that is
There's too
a
many
Jacob
games,
game.
Preston.
That's like an hour in. I was like, this is Jacob game.
This is Jacob game.
This is
his
Jacob game.
Yeah. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
Preston
you'll
was
probably
right.
be into it. I can
Preston
kinda see
was
it too.
right.
Based on what Preston said, I can see
Yeah.
it.
I will play it.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Okay. Thank
When I play it, who knows, Preston?
As long as you just play it, and we can talk about it later.
Okay. I'll try to get to it as quickly as I can.
Okay. It's
Just
not a
have
long
so many
game.
things lined up.
You're spending 300 hours on a game you already beat, Kingdom Hearts 2. You could have been playing Nino Kuni.
I'm not spending 300 hours on it.
It's taking you. How long have you put into
I
Kingdom
think
Hearts
I've
2?
put in like 24 hours.
You could have almost beaten Nino Kuni
probably
by now. So
You see what you've done, Jacob?
But that's kind of been spanned out over a year's time. It's taken me a while to
well,
get
once
through
you
that
beat
game.
Kingdom Hearts, you're gonna have to put another game into that slot that you.
I gotta finish Xenoblade
Play.
too.
That's a long game.
I mean, I think I'm pretty close.
To the end?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
I'll talk about it off screen with you.
Okay.
I don't want to.
I'm sure you are so far ahead of
Oh,
me.
am I? You
It's,
think I'm
it's
ahead of you?
insane.
I
Yeah.
think I'm like 50 hours plus.
I'm on like the second Titan.
Really?
Well, maybe.
No way.
I just fought Glasses Man.
Oh God, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so far
Yeah, I
ahead
know.
of you.
That's the thing is, I freaking love that game. The story's awesome so far. The combat is really fun.
Story is even better.
Yeah, I bet. But I just, for some reason, every time I sit on the plane to play the game, it's like I don't have the urge to really I want to play that game on the TV. Like I think you said last week or something that game just looks like dog shit on handheld
Yeah,
mode.
it does.
So yeah, I just want to play it on TV. And then when I'm at home to play it on TV, there's other stuff that I'm playing.
I mean, I know what you mean. Like, it just feels like the game's kind of missing something, and it's like it's something that kind of makes me not want to play it sometimes. But
Mhm.
also, just, there's other things that are really good in the game that keep bringing me back at the
Yeah.
same time. So
No, yeah.
it's an interesting kind of battle I have constantly
sure.
while I'm playing the game.
It feels old to me.
Yeah.
There's very, very much an old feeling RPG.
It's very stiff. Just like even just moving around, exploring the worlds. Just like it's not very,
It's old.
Yeah,
Feels
it's just-
old. Feels like
exactly.
an old game, but it's fun.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10.
Nah, figured. Lizian? Forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. I believe it's Lizian, or maybe just Zian, maybe the L silent. It says, hello, my good friends. I always seem to have an unpopular opinion when it comes to liking video games, and generally it's negative. For instance, I dislike the Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect series. No matter how hard I try to like them, I just can't. Do you guys have any games that are overwhelmingly well received that you just can't like? Fortnite.
I can like that game.
I'm just kidding. I like the game. I just don't like it. I'm not nearly as enthusiastic about it as other people are.
Yeah, PUBG.
Even PUBG, I
it's
like
like
a lot,
I like
but
it.
I've had my fill of both those battle royale games, and that's why I said I'm so into Hunt, because it's a twist on that whole experience for me.
I don't know if there's a crazy popular game that I straight up just don't like.
Yeah, I don't
can't
think
think
there is
of
either
any.
for me.
Because I at least can like it, and I guess like MOBAs, I guess like Dota or League of Legends, I
Yeah.
just don't find MOBAs fun.
Have you tried either of those games?
No. So I mean, I guess I could be like the biggest fan ever. I've just never tried it, but they don't interest me in the slightest.
It's kind of intimidating, like just looking
I'm
at
too.
them.
I will fully admit I'm too dumb to play those games. I'm too dumb. My brain does not work
Like people
that
have
way.
been playing those games for years.
Yeah.
It's like, can I even compete?
Even
with
like
those people?
RTS games and stuff, I'm just like Civilization has always looked cool to me, but it's so intimidating that
Yeah.
I feel like I would just feels just like an idiot playing that game.
So I want to give another shout out to Brass Tactics talking about RTS games on Oculus. I don't know how many people have Oculus Rift, but if you have it, try out Brass Tactics. It was a very accessible but very engaging
It's on Vive
and fun. Not at the moment. It's a Oculus exclusive.
I'm sure there's a way I can monkey it over there.
Yeah, maybe. That's a solid RTS experience in VR. It was very cool. So I'll throw that out there.
Garrett played my Vive at my house.
Your Vibe?
My Vive.
I played some Fallout 4 VR. Very cool, very surreal, of course.
Best VR experience you've had?
Well, I only played it for about 2 seconds, so I can't say that.
Oh, did he hog the game away from you again?
Potentially probably could be.
Did you have to watch him play?
Yeah, I watched him play it in VR. But I stood in Diamond City, and it's magnificent to behold when you feel like you're in, is it Fenway Park in Boston? Yeah, if you feel like you're actually in there. It just feels massive in scale, so it's awesome. That's what matters, man. It felt very cool, and I could see myself totally falling in love with Fallout 4 again if I had it on VR. Yeah. What else did I try? I
tried the Steam Labs
thing.
Steam
Labs is kind of cool. I shot a bow and arrow. Yes, Vive just feels so silky smooth and buttery compared to PlayStation VR. And PlayStation VR, I don't want to rag on because I've had some great experiences on there. It's not bad by any means. It's just VR, or not VR. Vive is just so vastly superior to it. Every time I played it, it's wonderful. I really want you to try Gunheart. I don't know if it's already out or not, but that's really awesome shooter in VR and Vive.
I wish there was enough time to where you could have played a LA Noire in VR.
Yeah, I want to play that really so bad. It looks so outstanding.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite VR experiences for sure.
Nice. That would have made a brilliant Let's Play series for our channel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, absolutely. If I had the time, I would totally come over to your house and film it with you.
For sure.
But it's just not possible.
Yeah.
But any games you just can't like, Jacob, that are massively popular?
There's nothing that I just dislike.
Bethesda games. Bethesda Game Studios games.
It's not that I dislike them, it's just that I don't enjoy them as much as other people.
I get that.
So I can't really think of
any. I guess I'll say one. Left 4 Dead. I think that's one. That's a really critically praised game. A lot of people like it that I've never really. That's the thing is I don't dislike it. I just don't necessarily like it too much.
Yeah, for our sake, I'd say we alter the question to saying they're games we don't like as much as other people do. Because I don't think there's ever been a game like you said.
There are not a lot of games that I full on just like hate.
I can understand Lazian's thoughts or other people's thoughts who aren't totally prior to the new Assassin's Creed before that. I can see why they would probably dislike them.
Yeah, I would give Origins a try if you felt the previous Assassin's Creed's lacking, because this one does a ton of new stuff and it's freaking awesome. Second DLC or expansion just dropped and I have to get to it. It's about pharaohs and stuff. Looks super cool.
I really had the urge to play it when I was doing my art history class this quarter, because we had a whole ancient Egyptian couple weeks where we were studying that, quote unquote studying. I just was half-assing everything as usual, but from what I did gather, I was very intrigued by it, and I wanted to go play Assassin's Creed because I know it's very, very much rooted in actual history and all the architecture and art in the game too. So that made me want to play it, especially that little just explorer mode where you explore ancient Egypt.
Discovery mode.
Now, I probably would have learned even more in that than I did from my actual art history book if I had played that. Because not only are you seeing it and getting all that information, but you're interacting with all of it. So that would have been pretty cool. But
such a fun game, man.
Yeah, fun.
The Creed is back.
Fun random fact. I got an A in that history class, and I got a B in my pre-production class for film.
Nice.
Granted, I stopped caring so much in my pre-production class about 6 weeks into it, because once you're 6 weeks in, I understood everything what we were doing, because all we were learning was obviously the process of being producer, which is so much more demanding than I ever imagined, that I know for a fact I will never produce a film as long as I live. Mad respect to the producers, and now I totally get why they're the ones. When a film wins Best Picture, I get now why the producer accepts the reward, because it's basically all their work. It lives or dies by the producer. So, and we learned all these new softwares for what producers use, like industry standard software for scheduling and budgeting, and it was very informative. I'm glad I know all of it, but 6 weeks in, you know it all, and then you're just applying that knowledge to projects, and I'm like, it's such a waste of time. It's so the process of doing it is easy for like short films and stuff, so I just stopped caring and half-assed it all, and I got all A's all quarter, and then like my last 2 projects I got a C and an F. I stopped caring, so that gave me a B in the class, but I'm just glad I passed. Because I'm at the point now when I found out I'm going to be in school for 2 more years, I'm like, all I care about is passing and not care about excelling any longer. So, but I thought that was so funny how I barely put any effort into history and got an A. That goes to show that you can go to college and not learn a thing. I kid you not, I did not learn a thing in that history class. The best meme I've seen is, I'll share it on Discord or something, but it shows like my brain, it's like a cup, and this guy with like a wine glass, he's pouring, and it goes, knowledge, and the knowledge is the wine, it's missing the cup, and it goes like something else, or the table is something else, where it's like he's reading something but he's not absorbing any of it. That was me in history the entire quarter. So it's possible to get through college and not learn a thing. So that's all I have going on right now in school. Now I'm about to start art history number 2, my final history class for the rest of my life.
Nice.
So, and I'm taking it in person this time, so I don't know how that will differ from the online class. Apparently, the teacher I'm taking with, according to Rate My Professor, is the most laid-back dude ever. So hopefully that remains true.
I had an art history class in school, and it was a very fun class. It was also in person.
Was it? Maybe I'll enjoy it more in person, getting to interact with classmates and stuff, because online, man, it was a total drag.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Big Nasty. Big Nasty.
Like that.
He says, you guys reference loving... I apologize, guys. I know this question's mostly for me, but bear with me here. You guys reference loving Halo almost every podcast, it seems. I've always loved Halo. However, the new games don't capture my attention. Or anyone's, for that matter.
It's true.
Footstool, man. I
don't know. Sean Finnegan talks about every
yeah.
Destiny podcast IGN does.
I've shared my thoughts on Halo 4 and 5, but I'll mention that just briefly. But what are your thoughts? What are your favorite Halo games, and what are some of your memories you have playing the games back in the day? I'll bust through mine really quick. I know a lot of you have heard this, but for newcomers, diehard Halo fan here. Not so much Halo 4 and 5, and that's nothing against 343. I just think some of the directions they took, not only the main narrative of the campaign, but also some of the multiplayer choices they made, I've not entirely loved. I just think the old school Halo formula is still great today. I mean, me and Zach, for example, I don't meant to tell you this, Preston. Zach was at my house for about 24 hours this week, which is so funny because the night before his wedding, I shared a room with him. I was like, Zach, this is probably the last time we'll ever share a room with you, much less a bed, because he and I used to share my bed all the time. He's like, yeah, dude, it's kind of sad, and I thought that was the last time I was going to spend the night with Zach. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, man, Cassie has a friend coming to town. I'm just going to hang out at your house for a day. I was like, that's great. So in 24 hours, we fit in all of our classic stuff. We shot hoops in my driveway. We went to Taco Bell. We played Halo 3. We went to Evans and played FIFA with you. And then we watched a movie and had some snacks and then slept in the same bed. It's like, all right, man. He's like, yeah, I'm going to try to do this once a month. I'm like, that's great. So it was awesome. I just got to hang out for 24 hours. But
first time I had played FIFA. And
same with me.
like
I hadn't played in at least a year, and it was just as fun as it used to be.
I was the only one that scored goals.
Yeah, I lost both matches. So it was still fun, though. It's a great game. Rage-inducing, but it's fun. Anyway, Halo 1 through 3, here's my quick Halo story. Started with Halo 2, fell in love with it. Obviously, Halo 2 is a classic. I went back and played Halo 1 on PC. I played for about a year straight, but predominantly in a summer where I played on PC with the same 12 people. Because obviously this was about 5 or 6 years after Halo 1 launched. And loved Halo 1. Obviously, Halo 3 came out in 2007. That's my favorite Halo of all time. The ending nearly makes me cry still to this day. I actually wrote on Zach's globe at his wedding, and everyone was signing that globe. I wrote, Wake Me When You Need Me, signed G-Dog Bilson. Quick story about G-Dog Bilson. When I first joined Facebook, it was to hide myself from my mother specifically because she didn't want me on social media at the time. Obviously, it freaked out a lot of parents when social media first came about, especially with MySpace and everything, the horror stories of kids being stalked and kidnapped or whatever. But I started a Facebook page, and in order to hide myself, I named myself G-Dog Bilson.
Quick sidetrack. Don't ask me why I remember this, but isn't that your name on the PUBG mobile?
It is. I'm G-Dog Bilson. It's kind of like a throwback, funny thing between me and Zach. I still do, but...
I remember you sending that picture, and I just remember seeing G-Dog Bilson. I was just like...
Yeah, on his globe, where people were signing it across the Pacific Ocean, I signed "Wake Me When You Need Me." Very meaningful quote between me and Zach.
Mine was also very meaningful. I put my name.
Oh, did you? What'd you say? Like, congrats or something?
I literally think I just put my name.
Jacob.
I don't know what I put.
You should have put Jacob Angus, Stanky Rangus, or just all of your code names that we've given you over the years.
Take up like half a continent.
Right. Something else I was going to add about Halo, I can't remember. Oh yeah, fun fact, this may blow some minds or maybe piss off a few people, but my favorite video on our channel is the video where Zach and I just have a discussion over the phone about our love for Halo 3 and the 10-year anniversary. Video is just called Reminiscing on 10 Years of Halo 3. Very meaningful video to me. It's very simple too. It's just he and I talking on the phone over Halo 3 gameplay and trailers. And hits me in the soft spot, Jacob. Make a grown man cry when I think about it.
I feel you.
So it's more, and it's not just about Halo 3. It's really about our friendship built around Halo 3 specifically. Because Zach and I bonded a lot over that game, and we made love several times. Now I'm depressed.
What?
Now I'm depressed that he's married to a woman. Anyway, Halo 4.
Traitor.
Not a big fan. Multiplayer was okay. I was very good at it because it was very Call of Duty-esque in a sense. It felt kind of like Halo, but like loadouts and everything. Kind of like Call of Duty. Campaign was fine. I thought it was much better than Halo 5's campaign. Halo 5's campaign is laughable to me. Totally forgettable. I've joked about this a lot. I consider it fan fiction.
What about Spartan Locke, dude?
Cool character, but terribly underutilized. A lot more potential there that they totally wasted.
Dude, I gotta tell you, those CG trailers, or the one for Halo and Gears, I think they came out the same year. Those trailers were awesome.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, I'll give them that. Even the opening to Halo 5 is really badass. But the narrative, just the arc it takes in the path, and did not like it at all. Multiplayer, I think, is the strongest it's been since Halo 3. Very different, but it has that kind of a classic Halo feel, but evolved a bit. And I think 343 really nailed it with Halo 5's multiplayer. And
you gotta imagine that we're gonna get Halo. Maybe not this year, but the next one for sure.
I think next year will be Halo. I think we'll undoubtedly see it announced at E3 this year. We'll get a trailer or something. I'd be very surprised if we got any gameplay whatsoever, but I think we'll get a trailer. I'm hoping Halo 6 will be the culmination of the good of Halo 4, which was their campaign, and then the good of Halo 5, which was the multiplayer. And I hope they finally nail it with Halo 6.
Hopefully they just stop making them.
And I think they'll know to include just split screen co-op, because obviously that was a huge problem with Halo 5, and it to an extent really killed that game for me, because I know we would have definitely played more of it with Ed Evans or something when it came out split screen. And there's too much backlash. I know it's like a graphical thing, and like the engine they're using, how it struggles in split screen. Even Halo 3, like frames would drop and tiny little bits would be missing from split scring. But I think it's worth it to have it in there, because that is
Power of the X. All things are possible.
Yeah, amen. I think beyond Halo 6, obviously Microsoft's going to want to keep Halo going. I imagine it will remain in the hands of 343, but I think they should have some fun with it now. Like, I'm sure they've enjoyed doing continuing Master Chief's story, but I don't think it was ever...
Can they just put him to rest?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever necessary. I think they need to branch off and just do brand new Halo stories with brand new characters. I think not only will they have more fun with that, but they get to be more creative, and they can just expand it in all kinds of different ways. So, yeah. That I think the franchise definitely needs that. But that's how I feel about Halo. My favorite Halo games are 2 and 3 for sure. Just custom games, and Halo 3 I will cherish forever. Some of the most entertaining and memorable gaming experiences of my life have been in Halo 3 custom games. I'll give a shout out to Reach 2. It's a solid game, great campaign. Didn't really love the multiplayer, but well, I will say about the multiplayer, the armor is the coolest it's ever been in Halo, because you customize your armor. It always looked the coolest in Reach to me. Halo 4 and 5's armor, they look like alien robots. It's the weirdest looking thing.
Wasn't Reach the last one that Bungie worked on?
That was the last one. It was their swan song, which was a little... I like to pretend it's not. I like to pretend Halo 3 was their swan song. But Reach was demanded by Microsoft. You can hear about it in Jason Schreier's book. They talk about that a bit when... I can't remember the company's name all of a sudden, who worked on Halo Wars. They mentioned Reach a little bit. So it was all Microsoft's doing. I'm sure Bungie would have much rather done something else, but not a terrible game by any means. Pretty good. ODST. Always forget it existed, but I remember playing Firefight for hours on end after school, our senior year of high school, playing ODST. Maybe not senior year, maybe sophomore year.
That was its own separate
game. It came out not too long after Halo 3, maybe been sophomore year.
I guilt-tripped my mom into buying me that game.
Yeah.
It's like, everybody's playing it.
So that wasn't like an add-on? It was a game?
It was initially
going to be DLC, but they turned it into its own standalone experience.
Okay.
It included normal Halo 3 multiplayer, like when you went into PvP, it was just Halo 3 multiplayer, but campaign was standalone, and Firefight
you got match made with people that were using the Halo 3 disc?
I think so. I think that's how it worked.
Okay. I liked ODST's campaign. It was really cool. The soundtrack was awesome when you're kind of just roaming through the
streets
city,
by yourself, and
it wasn't like just like a piano playing. That's cool.
What's ODST about without really like?
It's about ODSTs are the level below Spartans. They're basically elite soldiers, but are lower ranked than Spartans, and it's about an ODST who crash lands. You all kind of crash land on I can't remember what planet it is. It may be Earth. I don't think it's Earth. I can't remember, but a bunch of normal Covenant to fight like brutes, and
So you're not wearing
grunts and
Spartan
blah, blah, blah.
armor?
No, you're wearing ODST armor. Okay. I think you actually have a health bar in that game.
Yeah, you play like a. You're not as powerful.
That's
as
pretty cool.
You have a suppressed SMG in the game, which is pretty cool. I think they kept that in Halo 4, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but maybe they didn't. But anyway,
all the missions were memories. You would find areas and
you would relive other ODST's experiences of that day.
Pretty cool game.
Yeah, I will say it introduced what's his name from Blue Team, or maybe it's Locke's team from Halo 5. It's the guy who voices Cade 6.
Nathan
Fillion.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his Spartan's name is, but I like him as a character. He's very similar to Cade 6 in Halo.
Is ODST on the Master Chief Collection?
It is not. It's only the core Master Chief games 1 through 4.
I thought they said they would be adding it or something a while ago.
Not that I've noticed. It's not on there currently. I played Master Chief Collection this week.
All right.
Had serious connection problems too, by the way.
Still?
Well, this thing, it had been fixed, but I think this is a new problem because we would join. It worked for a little while, and then we would join a lobby, and it wouldn't even load. It would just kick us back out and not tell us why. And then occasionally it'd be like, you don't have the proper permissions on Xbox Live. And I read about it, and people from like just a couple months ago were complaining about the same thing, and no one had an answer for it. So I don't know what's going on there.
Brand new content is here for the Master Chief Collection. Remnant, a reimagined version of Halo 2, will be at multi-map, and the fan-favorite ODST campaign is added as well, enhanced and running in 1080p 60 FPS.
That's on there right now?
Yeah, it's free to eligible consumers who logged in their Xbox Live account and played the Master Chief Collection between November 11th, 2014 and December 19th, 2014. And it will also be available as downloadable content for $4.99.
Okay, so that's why I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I haven't downloaded it. Oh, that's cool, though.
I thought I read that somewhere.
Nice. I was just going to say the only cool thing about Nathan Fillion's character is that you see him as an ODST and ODST, and then in Halo 5, he's upgraded to a Spartan, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Cool little narrative progression there.
I forget I have that game.
Halo
Master
5?
Chief Collection
Master
and Halo
Chief
5,
Collection,
yeah. I never played Master Chief Collection, but I got it.
Yeah, you and I had a decent amount of fun on Halo 5.
That's my only memory really with... Well, I played Halo 3 custom games on that sand level, just smacking everybody with gravity hammers, the people on the mongoose, which that's probably the funnest I had. But I have memories of us playing Halo 5 for a while.
Good times. It was fun. On to the next one. Just Pure One says, "What's up, my party people? Given the chance, what two games would you merge? By that I mean the world of one game with the mechanics of another. I want to do the style of Kingdom Hearts in the world of Nintendo games, like Smash but more RPG."
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
Oh man,
what about?
We always get these really deep questions that I have to.
It's like I need to prep for them.
Yeah, I think the God of War kind of just merging with
Last of Us.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's amazing. Not exactly with RPG elements and stuff, you know.
I mean, obviously that game is clearly inspired by The Last of Us, but which I don't think is a bad thing. I think in its own way it'll stand on its own. Completely.
Yeah, I mean, with all the RPG mechanics and just the combat and the world. Yeah, I think just because he has a son and it's over the shoulder viewing, like it's not a ripoff. But for sure, I can see the inspiration definitely. Oh man, yeah, I hate in these podcasts when I don't want to sit here just humming.
I bet you Jacob can answer instantly. Okay. Jacob, if you could merge the mechanics from one game into the world of another game, anything you want, what would the merging be?
I can't answer instantly.
I'd have the mechanics of Overwatch in everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the mechanics of Shadow of Mordor or Mordor games and put it into the world of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I dream.
Yeah.
I dream of that.
That's mine.
That's what it needs. I'd also like the...
or The Witcher. I'll take The Witcher mechanics and make something Star Wars, but The Witcher.
I'd also like the...
Just a roaming Jedi.
Yeah, I'd also like the open world aspect of Assassin's Creed to be added to a Star Wars game as well.
Yeah.
Or like Far Cry for that matter.
Yeah. Let's look around the room.
Yeah, take a look at the posters that never help us with anything.
Yeah. Give me an MMO with like action RPG combat. Like I know like ESO and like what...
Terra.
There's other games like Terra.
Witcher 3 is pretty action-packed combat.
Do that, but they never feel, fully like an action
Let's
RPG.
take Destiny and make it an MMO.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
We're all still waiting for that
I never
one.
said that before.
People have been saying this, and this is the first thing I thought. I wish they could do this if they added the visceral, just brutal combat from Vermintide 2 to an Elder Scrolls game. It'd be awesome.
Okay.
Especially with that many enemies coming at you. I know Vermintide can get away with it because the world is significantly smaller. It's not an open world by any means. It's very linear in the sense you're just fighting waves of enemies like Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But combat like that would be awesome. I think that's what attracted me to the game in the first place. It's just it doesn't have to be that violent per se, but that's definitely a part of it. The violence is just awesome, and the combat feels really good, even though I'm just clicking left mouse the entire time. But
Would you guys ever consider playing Diablo 3 again? I know this is really random.
if there was nothing else to play, yes, but there's a million things to play.
Yeah.
So
I just, for some reason, I've been thinking about it, like playing on my PC, because I've never really played the game like fully optimally.
I bet the three of us would have a
like
blast with it if we teamed up again.
Yeah.
It's like I used to play on my old MacBook when I had the settings down. On PS4, I don't even know how good it ran fine on the PS4.
It ran
when I
60
played
frames
it,
and looked
but
gorgeous on PS4.
I just feel like I can make it look even better.
Yeah, the little roll stick too.
Right.
I thought it felt great on PS4 too. I got really used to it and it felt pretty natural.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a PC game. Just like,
Definitely, yeah.
The inventory on console wasn't ideal. by any means
You're
for me.
just a noob.
I mean, I'm just PC master race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gentlemen, we have 5 minutes to spare before I need to head out.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So
Let's
it's
finish
perfect
this final
timing for the
question.
final question.
Yes.
Ryan Goheen says, if you could port any 3 games to Switch, what would they be and why?
Persona 5.
Yep.
Because I just want that on the go.
Good one.
I know you would like that on the go.
Definitely.
I
That would
want-
change my life.
I want Nina Kune 2 because I just want to play that right now, and I'm
I'm
going.
surprised it's not on there already.
It's a Sony partnership.
I know, but like they need to get it there as soon as possible, somehow, some way.
And for the final one, in my opinion, I would really, really like. I'm just gonna say really, really a lot until I can think of the next one. If y'all have one, y'all can come up with.
I mean,
by
you
all
could
means.
literally say anything and it would be great on Switch. Just taking anything on the
I think
go.
Persona 5 would be freaking perfect on Switch, though.
It would.
That'd be great.
We need some Pokemon games on the Switch.
No, but that's not another thing to put.
Yeah,
on
we got a
there.
port.
Yeah. Let's
That's
do.
what I mean.
Let's do
Port the old
Fallout.
games.
Let's do Fallout 4 or 3. Any Fallout 3 or 4. New Vegas, sure. Any of those would be.
Dumb it down a bit, I could see Fallout 4 landing on Switch.
Yeah. I think more realistically,
3.
3 or Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like Vegas
I
because
bet people would be
I'm still into
stoked for
that.
Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I would. I picked it up on PC and obviously I don't really have time to play it, but what I did play for about 3 hours was great.
Yeah.
So
It's way better than I remembered my edgy, dumb teenage self.
yeah, that's what got me to pick it up, is because your reevaluation of it.
Yeah. So it really is good.
Well, anything else, boys?
I think that's the podcast.
Cool.
The podcast called the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, which involved 2 of my best friends, including me.
Wait a minute. I want to
Have
read
some
a
Do
review.
you have any
there?
reviews, Jacob?
We have.
Go to
several
Apple
reviews.
Podcasting and leave us a 5-star review and write us a review as well. Subscribe to us also. I'm a big supporter of the Apple Podcast app right now. I have several podcasts on it and I use it all the time. 'Cause
I'm using it as well.
I'm having to use my GPS, and
But
it's
you guys are
great to
converted.
have the GPS up while I'm listening to
It's because as
podcasts.
soon as I realized I don't have to download every episode, I was
Yeah.
immediately attracted to it. Because at first I thought that was mandatory. I was like, F this. But I was wrong.
You get your updates. They're in chronological order based on what's new and stuff. It's
Yep,
great.
it's phenomenal.
Check it out. Subscribe to us. Leave us a review. It takes literally 5 seconds, and you're going to like it a whole lot.
Question of the week for you guys is, I know I was kind of just dabbling with this idea, but I really want to hear your thoughts on this, about the possibility of splitting our long-ass intro of talking about what we're playing and how our week went into a 3rd show on this channel. Just let us know down below, and in addition to anything else you have to say in the
I
comments.
thought you were about to start the whole thing again. I was like, didn't we already talk about this?
No. That's just a little reminder.
Okay.
Yeah, so we love those comments on YouTube. Even if you listen on Apple Podcast or Spotify or Google Play, wherever you listen, just hop on over to YouTube and be like I said last week, like, hey, losers, I don't like you at all. And just leave a comment like that, and it helps us out.
It'd be awesome.
So,
Gentlemen, we have 4 new reviews.
4?
4 5-stars.
What's our total right now?
Wow.
I think. Let me scroll.
We gotta be in the
back.
70s by now, right?
76.
We're nearing 100. Getting there.
Very close. We have 4 reviews, like I said, all 5 stars. One's from Taj78. Should I read through all these, or should I just
How long are
mention
they?
them? There's
Just give a shout out.
lots of them are big.
Just say thanks.
But yeah, Taj78, 5-star, 10 out of 10 was this guy's name. Thank you. Dexter Clark. I've seen Dexter
Mr.
Clark
Dexter.
before.
Thank you.
And Chuck Norris Rocks 89.
He does.
He does, man.
He does indeed rock.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much. That truly means the world to us. We cannot thank you enough. I know we say that every week, but I mean that from the depths of my soul. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that.
That's cool that 70-something people took the time out of their day
Think of it this way.
to do that.
If you even remotely enjoy our content and would like to see us reach our full potential, fulfill our true potential, fulfill your destiny, please submit some reviews on Apple Podcasts, because that literally could turn the tide of our channel evolving into what it could truly become. The Vermintide. We could become the Vermintide is what I'm trying to say. We could become rat men. But yeah, please do so, because
I think
truly
the game
that could change
industry
everything for
has
us.
it out for rats this year.
They most certainly do.
Yeah, 2 antagonists that happen to be of the mouse kind.
Sounds a bit, trying to think of another word, not racist, but I guess
Speciesist?
speciesist, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So,
But that's fine. Nobody likes rats.
well, some people like rats. Some people have rats as pets. Not
They're
not
traitors.
Big, not big.
They're They're
like mutant sewer rats.
They're
but-
housing the enemy.
I always wanted a rat that's in Blood or Dark Souls as a pet. Remember those rats?
Oh yeah,
Those
the
are
big
nice
ones.
rats.
Yeah, they're nice.
Ones that are infected. Good shit.
Immediately thought of gay Harry Potter when you said that.
Gay Harry Potter.
Have you ever seen that video on
I
YouTube?
don't think so.
If you guys have never seen gay Harry Potter, just search on YouTube gay Harry Potter. It was a skit from some late night show, but it is not a skit, but like a cut together trailer. It's hilarious.
Is it funny?
It's a classic. So I think you guys, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, I think you'll really enjoy it.
I think it was like the show The Soup. I believe
Is that
that's
what it
what
was?
I believe
Chicken noodle soup.
so. That old
Chicken
E show.
noodle soup.
Who's
Not that
by
chicken.
again?
I don't know.
Anyways, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to talking to y'all next week. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what that reminded me of before we head out? It reminds me of that song. It's like, my lip gloss be popping. My lip gloss be cool.
Ooh.
Something, something, something. They chase me after school.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't like that.
That's
I
a
don't
good
like it either.
closing song.
Yeah.
I'm going to go cut out my tongue now.
All right.
Goodbye everyone.
Bye.